Hello and welcome to episode 192 of Video Games to the Max. I am your host, Sean Garmer, and here with me, as always, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
And of course, this is the official video games podcast of W2Net.com, and we are in partnership with Last Word on Life and FullOnMania.com as well. Once again, on a unintended break. Technically, part of it was because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about, and then when we did have things to talk about, stuff happens as usual, so...
Someone flaked out, and it wasn't me, so draw your own conclusions.
Whatever. No, Anaya's out of school now, so it's a little bit of a pain to get her to go, or she's done with the summer camp, not school, but she's... now she's like, oh, but I'm not in camp anymore. Why do I have to go to bed? I'm like, damn it. Smart ass kid.
It's like, because those are the rules.
Yeah. No, but
If you want to try to find another house with different rules, feel free, but you may run into problems.
Right. Yeah, she's got, I think, like a week or so before everything starts again. So.
Yeah.
I kind of gotta let her enjoy it a little bit too. But. Anything going on with you?
Just playing a few games. How about you?
I am playing mainly one, and another one that I'm sort of playing here and there, because it's on Switch, so I can watch things and play it. I don't know. It's just not. I don't know. I'm talking about Pool Panic, by the way. It's not. I don't know. It's just not grabbing me, and it's kind of more frustrating me than it is fun. I know there's people that really like. I like some puzzle games, but then when there's puzzle games that they just keep pouring stuff on, and don't really let you adapt to one type of puzzle before you get to the next one, I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm kind of a little over this. So. It's hard because I'm trying to push myself because it's a review, so it's it's one of those where you gotta just grind through it sometimes, even if it's not your cup of tea. So,
I would say not really. If you've only put 20 minutes in, that's one thing. But if you put at least 4 or 5 hours into it, that's probably good enough, especially for a puzzle game. There's not a ton of story there necessarily, or a ton of huge new gameplay mechanics are going to introduce at some point.
Yeah, it's just the balls keep changing to where, they have different ways that they either move around or that what they do, and they keep bringing in certain things, and I think it's fine. I think it works for what it is if you like the kind of silly humor that it has, and then you're a fan of pool. It's almost like a cross between pool and another type of game like that, like bowling and something else. And yeah, it just for Adult Swim's return to gaming.
It's basically a pool. It's a pool game, but the balls they are actual characters. They can move around.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah. I've been playing Dead Cells.
Well, how is we have a story that goes along with Dead Cells here, but yeah. What is your opinion of Dead Cells? I've seen a lot of Game of the Year talk for Dead Cells.
I wouldn't go that far. It's good, but I imagine God of War or Spider-Man might be better.
Oh well, no, I'm not talking about winning. I'm talking about being in the conversation.
Just general category. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's a Metroidvania, roguelike, action game. Whatever the hell else IGN said. Yeah. You play just a kind of this nameless guy or prisoner, and you're kind of dumped in a prison, and you have to escape and try to climb out to kind of the end, or find out what happened to you. And you have multiple weapons. You start off with a sword and a shield or bow, you unlock different weapons as you go along. You get blueprints, and then you have to spend. You get the dead cells are what drop from dead enemies, and then use the cells to unlock new blueprints for your character or mutations, which are like permanent upgrades for that round. Yeah, it's Metroidvania in a way that like there are bosses at every third level.
Yeah.
And they confer you like a permanent upgrade rune. So like the first one is you get this ability that you see like these little vine plants occasionally in the prison, and you don't know what they do. And then once you get the rune, they shoot up a big vine for you to climb. Or like another one I got was I saw these like little runes on the ground that were like yellow, and if you try to ground pound them, they become red. But that's it. So the upgrade I got was it let me ground pound them again, and I could burst through the ground and like get to a different area.
Just want to make a point that we are doing this at like 12:30 in the morning, and we are aware that crickets are.
I mean, I can shut the
are happening with Mark. So I just wanted to let you know we're not hearing that, but you know
that's just the audience participation.
Yeah, exactly. They want to know about Dead Cells.
But yeah, it's a really fun 2D platformer. Combat is very quick, occasionally cheap, but you know, not too much.
I was going to ask because that seemed to be a thing with some people were finding it really hard and some others were not. So.
Well, it's a thing of like when you start off initially, you're very weak. You have very basic equipment. You get upgrades soon after that, like let you carry more gold or like upgrade your health flask to like one. You basically have like a potion that you can drink once per stage, and you get your health back, most of it at least. And like you can upgrade that to get like you can do it like 2 more times and 3 more times, stuff like that. Yeah, like you get like different. And now a train goes by. You get different swords, hammers, whips, you know, and even some like different bows or like this like freezing blast thing that like freezes enemies. It's pretty good.
Do you have a weapon that you like the most, or?
Well, all the weapons have stats on them. So like one weapon, I mean, they're all randomized and you can't change them. But so like you might get like a hammer that dazes foes, and then if the foes are dazed, they take 50% more damage. Or you can get like a grenade that when you throw it, it poisons enemies. So I mean, weapon types don't really matter that in the overall in the grand scheme of things, I think, because it's all about what modifiers it has on it or like what affixes it has. But I'd say I like faster weapons personally. Or like the freezing blast and like a good balanced blade or something is pretty good.
So the ending was obviously this was in like early access or some kind of.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil the game, but I actually finished the game a few months ago in early access, and the ending was basically like you beat the boss and you go to like the next area, and it ends with like a construction sign saying, "Congrats on beating it. This isn't the ending. It's coming soon. Do you want to replay?" And it was kind of cute. It was kind of cute. Well, I mean, it was a construction sign like, "Oh, we're still building the game." So
right.
Like, okay, I get that. The ending of the actual game is not too far off from that.
So how long do you say the game is?
I mean, that's kind of the thing. You can die. I mean, you can have a run that lasts 5 minutes, or you can have a run that lasts an hour. It all depends on how good you are, or like how far you want to get. Like you can't, if you bought the game right now, you can't actually get. You might be able to, but I'm pretty sure you just can't go through. Like on your first run, I don't think you can make it to the end of the game necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Because I think at least on the first boss fight, I think once you get the rune, you might have to die, but I'm not quite sure. It's been a while. But yeah, it's all based on skill. Like, and all the levels are randomly generated. So you might be able to, but it would be like damn near impossibly hard because you have no upgrades or different weapons.
So you'd say that it does give you a lot of incentive to keep playing after.
It really scratches that like Metroidvania itch, like hardcore. And there's like one you get like there's like the collector. He's like the blueprint guy and like the upgrade guy. Like, oh, to get this heart or to get the flask upgrade, I need 80 souls. It's like you can do that in a few runs probably if you just kind of barrel through. But there's like after every boss fight, which is like every third level, there's like a blacksmith guy, and he's like, "Oh, I'll bestow upon you like permanent upgrades." And like the first one is increase the rarity or increase like the number. I think it's like increase the quality of weapons that drop from enemies, and that's 0 to 1,000. So you need 1,000 cells to upgrade this dude, and you get 20 per boss fight.
Nice.
So you'll be there for a while.
Well, there you go. I mean, so you seem to really enjoy the game. A lot of other people have really enjoyed the game, including one person at IGN who... It's upsetting to me because I'm a big IGN person. I listen to all their podcasts just for, because I have since, when I wasn't, doing this writing about games or doing podcasts or whatever. So, I felt like I have grown with those people and I just kind of kept listening. And then, obviously it helps now to give me information and other viewpoints that you don't get just from, reading things or whatever. And the new host of Nintendo Voice Chat, and he's also, I think he was the one of the main people on the Nintendo side for IGN, Filip Muocin. He took over for Jose Otero because Jose went to go work for Nintendo itself. He actually comes from like a YouTube background, so he's used to doing videos. But I think writing is not necessarily his forte, or it's not something that he just does all the time. And nothing has really come out about exactly what happened that might have caused this, or if he's done this before and just wasn't caught previously. But obviously, when you work at big sites, because you also get the games well in advance, it's usually sometimes the games can come not just weeks ahead, but months and several months ahead, depending on, whether they got to go an event or, like their IGN first thing that they're doing, where they're getting to see various things from Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is this month. I think Darksiders 3 was last month. So he had to do a video review along with a written review. And their video review is basically just somebody doing a 5-minute synopsis of the written review. Well, he took his own video, but the problem is he went and read another YouTuber who had a early review of the game, which might have also broken embargo, but that's another deal entirely. But
I mean, the game went up early. Well, the quote-unquote full version went up early, like not midnight like normally. But also the game's been in early access for years, or at least a year. So
I think he was doing... Either way, that's not the point. The point is that he went and not... because we do this as writers, as people that... Even in grade school, like... You read things for information. I'm not gonna lie, because we don't. It's rare that we get games really ahead of time, like where we are the only people that we know of on our side reviewing. Like I think Sega and Atlas are the ones that are really good about sending games out like a month ahead of time or a few weeks at a time. The other ones, it's harder to get that without being, depending on the size of where you write. So we get kind of the benefit of sometimes being able to get other people's opinions or read other reviews or whatever, just to sometimes see what you're seeing what other people are seeing, whatever. You read that for information. You don't take things verbatim from somebody else's review and put them into yours. Or do the thing where you change a couple words around and, whatever. You can get away with that for a news post because everybody's using the same information, unless it's a scoop or whatever. For reviews, your editor is supposed to catch that, but we don't have a Grammarly or Turnitin.com for videos. So, I don't know. I don't know if he's done this before and just never got caught. But the thing is, a lot of pros use like very flowery language, and a lot of the same flowery language gets used a lot. Except, yeah, this was just really blatant, and it's sad because again, we do this on a less pro level than they do, and I can get it from a certain aspect of being on deadline and got to get your shit in, but man, come on.
I mean, even if you wanted to copy it, you at least have to change the language a little. Like he changed like one word, and it's like no.
Or he added a bunch of flowery stuff on top of it, but it meant the same thing. And it's like, and he's using the same cadence too. He's using the same way that the guy's saying it. And that's another problem. It's just like, that script that you wrote, it really felt like, okay, I've got to get this thing in. I don't have time. Let me just see what's going on. And it's like, maybe this comes out. I don't know what the actual, what his actual reason was, if that ever does come out or not. But
well, he's been pretty silent on Twitter so far.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt he's probably got some kind of. They probably told him like you can't talk about this for a while.
Well, no, he got fired today or yesterday. So
yeah, he got fired. I think like hours after it happened. So
well, it was at least a day because that's when I saw it kind of blow up. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a career ender, to use a giant bomb phrase that I listened to 4 hours ago. Because like, what site is going to hire this dude?
Yeah, that's the problem. You'd have to cover yourself as far as like double checking and triple checking to make sure that whatever he does going forward is not plagiarized from somebody else. And that's what's bad, was that he was the guy that goes to Nintendo events for them, you know, and he's the guy that tried out the Labo for them and all that stuff. Like, it's a black guy on the site. I mean, obviously, I know some of those people there, so it's not like the site's bad itself, but just, yeah.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily I mean, it'll be a hit for, the internet fanboy crowd.
Yeah.
Either for or against IGN, but I don't think like Nintendo will really care.
Yeah.
Or like whatever company, I don't know the developer of Dead Cells. I don't think they'll care either.
Twinmotion, I think it is.
Okay. Yeah. Especially since like the review was like the score was positive, and it's not. Right. It wasn't like an outlier. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't like IGN gave it. I think they gave it a 9.7, and like GameSpot gave it a 4. Like,
yeah,
everyone's pretty much giving like 9s or 10 or around that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's look again. Like, this is something you would expect to happen in like high school. When you're doing this for your grades, because that, it's important and all that stuff, but like, you're getting paid to do this. Obviously, I don't know whatever he had going on personally, but there's not really a lot of excuses for this, so,
I don't think I've ever done that, though.
Do what?
I don't think I've ever plagiarized. I don't know about you, but
I never plagiarized. Like,
at least if you, like, there's a difference between plagiarizing and then sourcing or quoting. Like, that's the difference.
Right.
Like, you can quote a lot, like in a paper or review, but this guy was just basically like wholesale ripping this YouTuber off.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you have to be smart about, like, if you're gonna use information that you got for something else, you have to completely change the way it is, right? Like, you have to completely change sentences around. Like, you can't just go, oh, let me make this sound a little more professional than it does, but I'm gonna copy everything else. Like, nah. So,
yeah.
You know, it is what it is. But
I think the Xbox guy is gonna review it now instead.
He's done some Nintendo stuff for them before. So
See, it's
cool.
I guess it's interesting to me, like, that you, I guess, hold IGN in that like high esteem, because I always thought they were fine enough reviewers, but they aren't, to me, like a personality driven site. Like, I guess GameSpot is or was, or like Giant Bomb really is. Like, if what's his, like Brad Shoemaker, I mean, he was a founder for Giant Bomb, but if he wrote a Dead Cells review and he did the same thing, that would be like, what the fuck? Like, that would be like super strange to me. But I really don't know who this guy was. So, like, all right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's new. So it's like he's been there, I think, like, I want to say since like March. So yeah. He's not been there very long. He comes from, like, he was a small YouTuber. So again, like, this whole writing thing is new. I don't think is something that he did all the time.
Well, yeah, but then see, that's doubly weird then, because, like, I think he said on Twitter, like, oh, this is my first video review for IGN.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
for IGN, right? Like,
yeah, but if he's from YouTube or from that ecosystem, you'd think he would be a little more, I guess, off the cuff, or a little more, I wouldn't say personable, but like just a little more like free flowing about his ideas.
Right, but it's corporate, so I assume that when a lot of people don't. Not everybody does the script, right? And like,
no, well, the thing is for video, I didn't watch that video review. Was he ever on screen, or did you see it?
No, they always do B-roll. They don't ever show. They don't. It's not like the old GameSpot reviews where they would show the guy or whatever.
Yeah. Then if that's the case, I'm not even quite sure why they're doing script. Like, because I mean, GameSpot, you needed a script because, like, they had Kevin Van Ord or Jeff Gerstmann on fucking camera, like, talking directly to you.
Well, they want a script so that it's succinct and you don't ramble, and you're also reciting the review itself. So,
sure, I guess, but you could always. I mean, that's what editing's for.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I got the okay from you, so the only thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have been playing We Happy Few. I'm not too far in it at all, but the only thing I'll say is my fears with that game were that trailer was great when they released it 2 years ago, I think, and the game hit early access, and people did not like it because they thought it was like a survival game, and that's what it kind of was billing itself as. Like, it seemed like the trailer seemed misleading in a sense.
I agree with you there. Yeah.
But I've played the final version. I think it has some survival aspects. Like, I think you have thirst, hunger, and like some heart thing. I don't know what the hell it is. But it does play a lot more like a BioShock than like a Rust. So I'm happy about that. And it seems pretty good so far.
So a lot of talk obviously is about, well, I mean, it got sort of banned in some places because it deals with drugs or whatever. How's that handled, Willie, in the...
Well, the drug is joy. Like, that's just the name of it. And, like, right. You can take it to, like, fool people, and it, like, kind of messes up your vision a little bit. and I think that it takes away the meters for a little while, like the hunger and thirst meter. But I mean, it's the same thing as taking like the plasmid from BioShock, or like
Okay.
I mean, not exactly, because I mean, I think you have. I haven't even gotten the joy yet, so I don't know. But this is kind of what I'm gathering from like the tutorial or like the tutorial. But so you can have multiple pills, but yeah, it's just kind of like a power up. Like you're not like snorting this stuff or
Right.
like injecting it into your vein. Like it's just kind of like, yeah, it's just like the neuromods from what is it? Prey, or I think there was some nano crap from like Deus Ex.
Okay, so it's not like the blatant thing that's been made. Okay.
Although I am curious, like at the start of the game, you do have a choice of like, do you want to take this joy now or not? Like you get hit with like this memory, and like the drug is supposed to like repress your memory.
Ah.
And I said no, and I'm curious like if you said yes, if the game would just end, or like if you just kind of just went into like a drugged out existence or something.
So like for people that may have seen trailers or whatnot, and seen the characters that you see in those shows, and it's like, what are you actually like doing in this game?
I'm just the first guy. I guess there are multiple characters, which I didn't really know about. I'm a guy named Arthur, and he's like the newspaper censor guy. And once he becomes a quote unquote downer, he remembers like his past and like his brother, like their childhood, and like I guess them growing up during the war. So he's trying to like find his brother. He doesn't know what happened to him. Like I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess it wasn't good. Like the brother's probably either dead or drugged up or something.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the whole like you get dumped into this like different city district. So now I'm like trying to find my way back.
Okay. So.
And yeah, it's like I don't have a gun yet. It's just like first person melee combat and some like sneaking. But like I said, it really reminds me of BioShock, but not in a bad way. Like it's been 5 years since Infinite, I think. So sure.
Yeah, I think people are looking for that kind of game out there.
There's also a lot more crafting in this game than like Infinite, but it's not as bad as like a Rust where you just have like menus upon menus of different crap, or like Subnautica is like that too. Like you have to get like 2 bobby pins together to make a lockpick, and then you can pick like the chest lock, and you don't even have to go to the menu. You can just hold the button down and it does it automatically, which is nice.
Yeah, that is nice. So yeah, I mean, we'll get to next time we do the show. Mark will have played more, so he can.
No, that's about it. I played an hour. I have a good opinion of it.
Yeah. Well, again, games journalism had to go repress itself in this week with what happened, but thankfully there's other stuff that doesn't involve that to discuss. Just before that, though, I have been playing it's a new game. I think it came out like last week, and it's an indie from Jesus, why can't I think of the Spooky Squid? So it's sort of like making fun of Russian culture and also sort of embracing the sort of stereotypical aspects of Russian culture, and then just saying we're going to have fun with this by making about animals. So it's called Russian Subway Dogs, and you play as some kind of either a dog or cat, and you're trying to basically get enough food to survive to the next level. It's almost like it has like a
It sounds like Tokyo Jungle or something.
Well, not, it hasn't. It's kind of more like it's the levels are. It's like pixely, so it's not. But it's not like 8-bit or whatever. It's just the dogs and all that are pixely, and
Yeah.
then you just have like this static train that's there. You're just going to these different subway stations that are in Russia, and these people come that have different kinds of food, and you bark at them, and they makes the food fly in the air, and you have to jump in there and get it. And then these other, like a Rottweiler, a poodle will show up and try to combat with you over the food. So you start out with this like Doberman, and they just kind of walk around, and then it advances to like a poodle that shows up and actually jumps. So sometimes you have to try to out jump the poodle, and like there's other people that have like vodka, and if you bark at the people with vodka, the vodka explodes in the air. And if it explodes with food, it catches the food on fire, and it makes the food give you even more points than if it was just regular. And then the food advances, like you get eventually like burgers show up, and they cost like 200 points. And if they get roasted, then you get like 400-point burgers. And basically, you're just trying to get to a certain number of points every level, or you don't pass. And then if the dogs eat the food, you decrease. And then also you're trying to survive, because if you don't keep eating food, your health depletes. And if your health depletes, you die. Whatever. So
I mean, it sounds like Russia to me.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and like you get to unlock different animals. Like I think, depending on how many levels you keep going, so the further you go in the campaign, you unlock more. Like I think the only one I've unlocked so far is the the meme with the dog where like it's like everything's fine and everything is like burning around him or whatever.
Yeah.
That dog's actually in the game. So yeah, and I think his thing is that like he's faster than the normal dog. And you unlock a cat that he's like really slow, so I didn't really like using the cat that much. But yeah, so I mean it's fine. I enjoy it. It's fun. Like it took me a little while to get good at it, but now I've kind of figured it out. But I still feel like a little bit of it's luck, depending on how many dogs show up to go up against you and where the different dudes run across each other. But you can kind of figure out the path. Like there's one where you have to actually like catch fish, and this old lady's carrying around fish, and that if you actually stand in front of her, she'll hit you in the head with the fish and everything. And made me laugh pretty hard once I figured out that actually happened. So I don't have anything to do with Russian culture, but I know somebody that's Russian. I need to like show her this and see if this actually happens or not. But yeah, fun stuff with the.
It's a precursor to Metro Exodus.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, speaking of games you can play this month, some of them are free and some of them are for a low cost. Xbox games for gold is Forza Horizon 2, which I need to remember to actually go download.
Yeah, I've heard Horizon 2 is like the weakest of the three, but it's still a Horizon game, so.
It's still well worth checking out. For Honor, the Standard Edition, is the one in the middle of the month, August 16th to September 15th. Dead Space 3 is on your 360, and obviously backwards compatible with Xbox One. And Epic Mickey 2, which is okay. So, if you never played Epic Mickey 2... I guess go get that.
You can continue to not play Epic Mickey 2.
Right, yeah. The first one was actually pretty decent. The second one, I don't know. There was some issues there. PlayStation.
The first one's like passable, but not a great platformer, or not what they were hoping. And then they just messed up on the second one like way harder, and it's like this is supposed to get better, not worse.
Yeah, way worse, to the fact that they like fired the guy that made it, and he's pretty famous.
Well, his name's Warren something.
Or Inspector or whatever, right?
Yeah,
he's the one that did System Shock.
He also did, I think, Deus Ex.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, he used to be well known, but I think he after those games he got out of the game making for like 10 years.
He was upset too because he liked making those games a lot. So like when Disney kind of canned him out of the backlash, I think it made him upset. So
it needed more nano machines and
yeah, exactly.
And he like cyborg arms and stuff like that.
That would have been interesting for its time if they could get Mickey to do that. PS Plus has Mafia 3.
I'll actually give that a shot. I'm kind of curious about it.
I might give it a shot too, especially because it was in the news recently with whether or not the developer, I think it was, right, that they were having some issues.
Yeah, I think they laid some people off, but
yeah, that's what it was.
Not a huge surprise.
Exactly, because they haven't made. I don't think they've made anything after Mafia 3. So, or they were developing something and they canned it or got delayed or something. Yeah. Dead by Daylight, which we have a resident like Dead by Daylight lover on staff, and she's trying to get everybody to play with her. So I don't know how that's gonna go.
Well, I'm not. I'll never play that game. So
I like the horror characters, obviously, but it's just like I've never been a 4 versus 1 person. Like I get people that are totally into that and everything, you know.
If I had a really good group, maybe. But I think I played like Left 4 Dead with a friend of mine once, and he was like trying to kill every zombie, and I'm like, no, I want to get the hell I want to progress this thing, and that's my problem with most of these like co-op games.
Like, let's go. Come on now. There's actually one that kind of reminds me of like Left 4 Dead or Strange Brigade that's going to come out in a few weeks. That looks sort of interesting. But Bound by Flame is there for the PS3, which is okay. And Serious Sam 3 BFE is there for the PS3 too. If you still have your PS3 connected for some reason, I guess go for it. Draw Slasher and Space Hulk are there for the Vita. And Here They Lie for the PSVR is there for free till like October 2nd. So if you need bad games to your PSVR, go get that, I guess. The Humble Bundle for August is actually pretty decent. I think it's September or August.
It's for August, like the monthly bundles, August, I think.
You can get Sniper Elite 4, which you reviewed that one.
That was okay, yeah.
Yeah. Tales of Berseria, which you also reviewed, which was, I think it's one of the story was really good, right? But the Tales game itself is just more Tales.
Yeah, like it's fine.
It gets dark.
Yeah, it starts dark and then gets more dark, let's say.
Staxel is also there, and The Surge, which is actually a pretty decent RPG. So,
actually, like that was for last month, I think.
Well, it's still on here. I don't know.
Okay.
So,
but yeah,
yeah,
The Surge is like Dark Souls, and it's supposed to be like a space station, but it's more like a space warehouse.
Hey.
But I actually like it more than Dark Souls, I think.
There you go. That's a plus for that game. Cause
I like sci-fi more than fantasy, so that helps.
Yeah, the subject matter is obviously going to help you there, obviously, too. There's Sudden Strike 4, Kona, Forge Battalion, which 2 of these are RTSs, and a few other games on here. So, not too bad for Humble Bundle for a month.
And I think, like, I want to say you can trade in, if you don't want Sniper Elite 4, Berseria, and I think maybe Staxel, you can trade them in to get Rise of the Tomb Raider instead.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Which is a decent deal, like, if you don't have Tomb Raider, or, yeah.
Yeah. If for some reason you don't have it at all, get it. It's worth playing for sure.
Yeah, especially with the new one coming out soon.
Exactly. Not too far out. Jeez. I still can't believe we're sitting here almost in the middle of August, honestly.
I'm praying, like, the days aren't coming quick enough for me. I want to get the hell out of this heat.
That's true, but sometimes I feel like it doesn't matter if we get to September, at least where I'm at, that heat's not going anywhere. So, for you, it'll actually get colder, at least.
Yeah.
So, the Smash Direct happened technically yesterday morning as we're recording this, but this morning they announced Simon Belmont and King K. Rool as the new characters for Smash.
And Trevor Belmont.
They announced Richter as his Echo. And
okay. It might have been Richter. That's it.
And you can also get Alucard as a assist trophy.
Yeah, you're right. I kept thinking Trevor because he's like the main. He's who I think of in Castlevania, those old games.
Right. That's who I thought they would announce, and then it's like Richter. I was like, okay, well, that works too. Chrom from Fire Emblem is the Echo for Roy, and Dark Samus is the Echo for Samus. Obviously.
So every character is supposed to have an Echo, right?
I think that's the point.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to assume that Wario has to be in this game then.
Yeah, I think they've made allusions to Wario being in the game. Or maybe not every character is going to be an Echo, or I don't know, because everybody keeps, those Waluigi fans out there keep going, where's Waluigi? That would be the time.
I mean, since Luigi died, they got to have Waluigi step it up.
I thought that was so funny. Nintendo actually had to come out and say that he's not dead, because everybody kept. If you for some reason haven't watched the Direct, they have basically, I think it's like Dracula it looks like he killed Luigi, and Simon Belmont I think comes.
It was Death who killed Luigi.
Okay, Death. And Simon Belmont, I think, comes in a little bit too late to try to save him, and then starts attacking with his Holy Whip and his other attacks. His Grand Cross looks really cool. I think I like his stage the most, even more than him. Like getting to see like Frankenstein and Dracula and all those people together.
This is another part of the Smash Brothers stuff. But did you see how much music is going to be in the game?
Yeah, freaking 800 tracks.
Well, they said 28 hours.
20. That's including the the BGMs and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
And they even have the listen to music section that they made a big deal about because of that.
Yeah. You can carry your Switch around as a little MP3 player for this one game, and it's I'm sure a lot of people are going to do that.
If I carry a backpack, maybe where I can lock my Switch, or I can put a padlock there, then maybe
you'll just carry your Switch remote in your hand for your Switch in the backpack.
Yeah,
for next track and volume and pause and play.
Yeah, I'd have to carry a Joy-Con in my pocket, and then I can't see what's happening, but I guess I think they were making a point you could create a playlist or something. So,
yeah,
ideally, if you make your playlist good enough, you don't have to skip tracks. But, I think it's a neat feature. They also announced a bunch of other assist trophies. Zero is there for Mega Man, Knuckles for Sonic. Obviously, Shovel Knight is in there, which is cool. The frickin' Majora's Mask Moon shows up and just freaks havoc. And then Rathalos from Monster Hunter is in there. And he is a boss and an assist trophy. So it's the first time that's ever happened for Smash. There's a bunch of different Pokemon that they also showed off as well. What did you think about King K. Rool? That's not one that I thought about ever.
Well, you have they always try to factor in the hero of a game and then like the villain.
Right.
So I guess it makes sense. But there are, I would say, more popular Donkey Kong characters than fucking K. Rool. Like,
but he's like the main villain. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think he's always been the bad guy. I think.
Right.
At least in the Donkey Kong Country games. But like, I would say like Funky Kong is more well known, or even like Dixie Kong or something. Like,
yeah, or even Cranky Kong.
So. I guess it's fine. The character they are like adding big characters to this game. Like him and Ridley look very oddly sized compared to other characters in the game.
Well, at least they're making him sort of to scale.
Yeah.
Right, so. Dracula's also a boss, by the way, as well. So it's leading to people thinking that there might be a boss mode or single player where there's some sort of story and you play specific bosses and whatever.
You played the Wii U one, right?
I did, but that story mode was blah.
Good. I only remember kind of the Subspace Emissary from the Wii one.
Yeah, that's what people are thinking, that might come back.
Even that, I don't really remember a ton of bosses in that thing. Like the best story mode to me was the Melee one, because I liked that one because it was like, okay, the first level is 1-1 or like this Mario looking level, and then you do like a Zelda level, and then you do like a Donkey Kong level. Like that was cool to me.
Yeah, I like that too. I don't remember a whole, because I only played Melee on the, like when I actually had my GameCube, so I don't just remember a ton of it. At the moment, but yeah, I do remember liking that a lot.
It's funny. I think I have Melee, and I only have my Wii. I don't have a GameCube anymore.
Well, that's the good thing about the Wii. It does have the backwards compatibility.
Well, I bought a used Wii, a black one, because I think the black one looks better.
Right.
And it didn't have the backwards compatibility.
Oh, that sucks.
And it's like, damn it, I bought this thing for this reason. So I had to take it
that's
back.
Right. When they started making, like right before they were going to stop production on it, I think they took the backwards compatibility out.
Well, no, they made like the Wii from Canada. That's like the smaller one. It's like very cheaply made. This looked like a Wii, but it just didn't have like the controller ports.
That's weird.
And then they did make a few black ones with them. There's some split there. And I was like, I had to take it back to the store and go like, oh, this doesn't read discs. Give me a white one.
Did you find, so the white one does read the...
Yeah, because it has, I looked immediately, it had the 4 controller, it had the door on the top. So I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, the black one didn't even have the door. Like it had, just one piece of plastic.
Oof, that sucks. Well, at least you got to get it fixed. But, I think they're also bringing back the classic mode, the one where you just go through a certain
10 characters or whatever. But they're adding like a bunch of like weird like sports stuff or like fighting game stuff to this.
I like the 5-on-5. That was cool. The
well, that's just like a survival mode. Like
yeah, but I liked it. Like it was interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
And then they added the tournament mode. And
the one weird one is like the fighting game mode, where so you can have like a health bar and like a stamina thing or whatever.
Hey, that's cool. Why not? That gives them another thing to add in. They could add in 2 different versions of Smash to Evo or whatever.
It worked for PlayStation All Stars.
Yeah. Wow. PlayStation All Stars is what it is.
You'll note they didn't try to bring that back at any point.
I wonder if they would ever consider that again, but just,
Well, I think, like, the main guy who did that one, Seth Killian, left. He went back to Capcom, or he's somewhere else.
Well, because, I mean, like, if indie games can do it, like, Brawlout's actually not... I've heard that people actually really like that, and Sony should be able to do it. So, I think at that point they were just they wanted to get that out.
Yeah.
That it didn't get the love that it should have, I think.
They rushed it, and I think they probably had more plans for the game that fell through.
Right. They probably thought they could make it like Smash, and then when it didn't hit well, it was like, well, this came off badly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, they announced stuff. I think they announced a lot more than we thought they would. Because I kind of had us wait a day because I was like, oh, well, you never know. They might announce something crazy. And
it's funny. I was joking with a friend of mine last night. I was like, yeah, we're waiting a day for this stupid Smash thing, and then I'll bet you $100 they won't announce 5 new characters, and it looks like I was right. They announced 4, and 2 are copies.
Well, technically they announced 5.
Okay, so 3 are copies.
Hey, they're counting those as characters, and now there's like 103 stages too. That's freaking nuts.
That'll make that stage select a lot more busy.
I like that too. The whole like stage morphing thing. That was pretty cool too.
Well, I'll be curious if they separate stages by like era, because I remember like Brawl had like, here are the melee stages, like the 8 that people care about. So they just have like a bunch of like melee stages, and then like a bunch of Wii U stages or something like that.
I wonder if they'll add in an update or something where they will eventually let you like pick the stages that it morphs into.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I also did like that they, up front, they let you mess with the rules so that you're not having to go in a bunch of menus and mess with that later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, seems like they're figuring out a lot of Q&A stuff, and also just...
I mean, I would say probably that's the Nintendo game I would want this year, or like this fall or for the holidays. Like,
yeah, because Aces has been kind of up and down. They've had to fix a lot of stuff or fix a few of the characters and all that.
That's kind of all they had this year was Aces and Smash Brothers.
Smash
and Labo, but I don't think that's doing too well.
It's done well enough. I think that they announced that third thing,
the third version. But yeah,
I mean that's obviously got its audience, right? It's not really meant for us, so and I haven't bought it because I am deathly scared that that's one thing I will spend time building. Anaya plays with it for 5 minutes and then doesn't want to play with it again, and I wasted $70. So
that's what you can start playing with it.
I'd rather not. I'm just hedging my bets on Pokemon Let's Go being the thing that gets her to want to play games with me, and I think it might because she,
just sit her down and go, all right, I need a co-op partner for Resident Evil 5. You're gonna sit here and like it.
Oh Lord, and Grandma will kill me.
Either that or getting grounded. You got 2 options. Why do you think? Why do you exist? I need a co-op partner.
Oh, God.
That'll go over well.
Certainly. Yeah, I mean, Octopath Traveler as well would be the other thing that people are.
Yeah,
really
but that wasn't Nintendo. So.
Yeah, true.
That game still doing some shockingly well too.
Well, it is doing shockingly well enough that Square said they are now going to make more of those kind of games. Thank you.
Didn't they say that with Bravely Default 2?
No, they didn't. They never committed to that. They said that that's why they made Tokyo RPG Factory, and then we've seen how those games have come out. So, I don't know. Those games are just lifeless to me. They're just there. I never Setsuna just kind of bored me to tears.
I've heard Setsuna is a fine enough game, but yeah, it just didn't grab people. And
Lost Sphere was the same thing. So
yeah,
and that also being said that the Octopath people are also involved with the Bravely Default games, and there's been a tease of maybe Bravely Default 3 or something in that vein. So that leads to the whole, they might be making more of those kind of games that they're already announcing with Bravely Default. So That's cool. I'm glad Square Enix is finally getting the picture, but sales are what's doing it for them, and that's what does it for them, is sales more than anything.
Yeah, I still haven't been able to find a NES Classic in stores.
Well, we'll be about to talk about why. Because it was the highest selling console of June. Not the PS4, not the Xbox One, not the Switch. The NES Classic was the highest selling console in June 2018. I didn't think I'd be saying that.
Oh, I pretty much knew it when they announced it, like, because the original run was such limited supply, and that, like, you know, people were reselling them for like $300 on eBay.
Are they still selling it for?
I think it's maybe like $100. Maybe, like, you know, it varies.
That's not too bad, I guess.
I had a buddy who, like, bought like a bootleg. He didn't realize it at the time, but he bought like a bootleg NES Classic off eBay. Oh, boy. And then he got it, and it's like an Amazon. It's like a retro pie and like a, you know, a NES shell, but it's like the most bootleg ass emulation you could imagine.
Did he get to refund it?
Yeah, he got a refund, and then I think he kept it because, you know, what else are you gonna do? But like, I think like Mario has like slowdown. It's like, holy Christ! Like, that's like the first game you should.
That's really bad if Mario has slowdown.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, NES Classic's like $80, $100, give or take.
That's not bad. It's not
bad.
But, yeah, I mean, so, and of course, I don't know if it was actual Sony or somebody that was complaining, or if that was just fans complaining that the NES Classic should not count as a console, because you can't add anything to it, legally, anyway. Which, technically, they're right, but, I mean, who cares? Like, Sony just announced they sold 82 million PlayStation 4s now. Like, does it really matter?
Well, my counter to that would be the Xbox One is a console that you can add stuff to, just no one does. Why do we count that?
Oh, boy. Ouch. Ouch. You know, to be fair, Mario Tennis Aces was also the highest selling game of June, which it did that with the 8 days in June. But I mean, there wasn't a whole lot coming out in June either. So,
yeah.
You know, that is something to be said there. I think hardware was up by at least 10 or 20% for the month as well, which is good. Xbox Ones. This is how bad Microsoft is with the they don't want to tell you what their numbers are thing.
Well, yeah, go on.
They just say our hardware sales are earning nearly twice as much money this month.
Well, yeah, they said a minute ago, like, oh, Sony sold 82 million PS4s or whatever, and I think the Switch is at 18 million.
19.6.
Okay, 19. Okay. You know how there's not a Microsoft number floating around out there.
Yeah, I wonder if the Microsoft number is somewhere around like 30-ish, or because the last time they ever reported it was at 27.
Yeah, I would say maybe 35, but yeah, between like.
Still, it's bad that like the Switch could realistically catch up to it.
Oh, I know. I think the Switch will catch up to it. Like. There's not a if there. Like, the Switch will eventually decimate the Xbox One.
Well, now you know why they're making a big deal of trying to be first for the next gen. So, so going through the list of games that for June, Mario Tennis Aces was number 1, God of War number 2, Grand Theft Auto 5 is number 3. My God.
Well, I have noticed recently a lot that GTA 5 has been going down in price.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. It's a freaking old-ass game.
Well, I mean, yeah, normally it was $60 still, like even a few months ago, but I've seen it a lot for 30, and I think I know like one PSN recent sale for like 20, and it's
That's
like,
not
yeah,
bad.
sure.
Yeah, it's well
You
worth
know,
it at that price. And they added that the like gay Tony stuff for the online as well. That probably has some people interested.
yeah, I
It
played that online mode once, and I was like, I'm good.
the Crew 2, Far Cry 5, Mario Kart 8 still selling really well. Lego Incredibles. That's good for Lego. Every time they make a game, it's good. It gets on these things. FIFA 18 is still selling with the new game coming out in about a month and a half. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. That's thanks to the Switch, and Detroit Become Human on there as well. The one of the
That's a game I want to play.
It's a game I want to play too. I'm waiting for it to go down to the like $30 and below.
Yeah,
Thing.
or if a Redbox ever has a sale and they have that, I'll just pick it up for like 20.
Yeah, that helps too because it's a game that, I mean, there's a lot of apparently has a lot of branching paths, but it's a game you can finish quickly.
No, there's one reason why Detroit Become Human will be in a lot of people's Game of the Year contentions, and that is because of Clancy Brown.
Yep. That and it broaches like the serious subjects.
Just Clancy Brown. That's all
Just
people
Clancy
care about.
That's...
Yeah. I will watch him in bad things just because I like him as an actor.
Yeah, he is awesome.
Like Pet Sematary 2, not a good movie. Him in Pet Sematary 2 is amazing.
It's like it's almost like Idris Elba and anything. He makes it awesome.
And they need to have like a inverted Lethal Weapon movie where Clancy Brown is the old cop, the old white cop. He was like always saying, "I'm tired of this shit. I'm too old for this shit." And then Idris Elba is like the young one.
Oh man, now it's got to happen. Damn it!
Since they won't give Idris Elba Bond, they can give him Lethal Weapon instead.
I still don't understand why not, man. Like he'd be an awesome Bond.
Well, what's weird is him and Daniel Craig are like around the same age. So
yeah,
I can actually see that point. Like I think they do want like a younger Bond, or a Bond who will be there for a while. Let's say.
It's weird because I thought I remember we had talked about. I thought Tom Hiddleston was like locked in, and then all of a sudden they said no, and I was like, okay, well,
okay, Idris Elba is 5 years younger, but
okay, you have less of an excuse. Like,
yeah. I actually thought they were the same age.
But I agree, at the rate that they make those movies, that kind of makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Because they don't make one after the other. They wait like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I thought they were always around the same age. Because Elba, like, he tends to look older in movies.
Yeah.
Like, so.
But, well, even in, like, The Wire, he looks old. So.
Yeah, him and Wood Harris are supposed to be around the same age, and they don't quite look the same.
Nope, not at all. So, Nintendo also revealed their top 10 highest sellers. These are all over 1 million. By the way, Super Mario Odyssey is number 1.
Yeah, let me guess. Mario, Zelda, Mario Kart, Mario Aces, that stupid boxing game, and then a bunch of other Mario stuff.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey is on there. Mario Kart 8 is number 2. Zelda is number 3. Like, so, Mario Odyssey is 11. This is million, by the way. Mario Kart 8, 10. Zelda, 9. Splatoon 2 has 6.7. 1-2 Switch has 2.4, sadly, because that's a bad game. ARMS has 2 million. Kirby...
That's like 2 million too many.
Yeah, Kirby, 1.8. That's surprising. But it does help with the co-op. It's actually a really good game in co-op. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, yay, 1.4. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is 1.40. And Mario Tennis Aces is 1.3. So that's crazy. Mario Tennis Aces hasn't been around that long. It's already sold that much. So
I actually have to wonder, like, how old is this list? Because I wonder if
it's recent. It's for this year.
No, I meant like what month? because I wonder if like Octopath might knock off one or two of those games.
Well, they just did their Q1 at the end of, I guess it would have been June. So I don't think Octopath had gotten up to 1.3 at that point. Maybe by now, like when we get to their Q2 and they do this again, I'm sure Octopath will be up there.
Yeah.
It's probably already beat Xenoblade 2. Perhaps is already creeping up on Kirby at this point. So, Nintendo keeps doing their thing with the Switch. Sony keeps doing their thing. Microsoft
keeps floundering in the dirt with their thing.
Is talking about TV series, which what we talked about last time is not happening. Master Chief is actually going to be a character in the series. This series is not starting until 2020, by the way, so
yeah,
we'll be talking about it for a while before they even start. It's going to start production like apparently soon, but basically, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I imagine this is going to be a pretty heavy CGI heavy show.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Like it's not going to be shot on location or whatever. It's going to be shot in a set and everything else. Like, but they keep talking, and I think we talked about it, but they keep talking about they want this to be their Game of Thrones. And they're sort of going about it the same way in that it's going to be about the characters and it's going to be about them talking and not so much like... It's going to be sort of the way Game of Thrones handles action, where you're going to have episodes where it's like one huge action thing and then it's the rest of its story exposition, which I guess is fine, but we'll see. We'll see. But they got to get through that first season of 10 episodes, and
I know there is a lot of, I guess, fiction for Halo, like the books or like the comics.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore there.
But I just don't care enough about Master Chief as a character.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing, right? You never see him. He's just under that helmet.
Like, so. I compare this to, like, the Netflix Witcher show. And it's like, I care about Geralt. I don't really care when the show takes place, like, in the timeline of the books or whatever. I like him as a protagonist or as, like, a personality. Like, Master Chief barely fucking talks. He says, like, 4 words in the original Halo game. He says, like, all right, I can look up and down, and then that's about it. And then they eventually like saddle him with like a weird romantic history or subplot with Cortana that is bizarre.
Yeah.
And that's kind of about it. Like, I think of this Halo thing as like, did you ever see Soldier from like 1998 with Kurt Russell?
No.
Go watch that. That's kind of Halo, except he's not wearing the suit. It's just Kurt Russell is a bald dude.
To be fair, I think it works in a game setting because you're more focused on, blowing shit up and killing the villains do talk. I mean, especially in the second game, like the Arbiter talks a lot, so
yeah,
you get more of the exposition that way.
I can't wait for the hour-long episode about the Silent Library level.
Yeah.
That'll be great. It's just Master Chief running around this fucking globe for no reason, shooting Flood.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll wait and see. Rupert Wyatt did a great job with Planet of the Apes, so I have faith that they have a good crew there.
Yeah. I think it'll be. Yeah. I think it'll be well made. I just kind of have no interest in it personally.
Well, but you don't have a connection to the games, though.
I've beaten most of them.
Okay.
I beat Halo 1, 2. I don't think I beat 3 or the bad one.
The ODST?
Yeah, I hated that one. But I at least played 4 and beat that one.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I've beaten all of them. At some point, I will do it.
I haven't read the Fall of Reach book, but
no, me neither. But yeah, I don't know. Look, we got a lot of time. They're gonna keep saying it.
I wish them all the best. Let's just say that.
We need successful video game things on, whether it's TV, Netflix, whatever. So whether it's this or the Witcher series, like, let's make it work, people. Let's make it work.
This is a tangent. Do you ever think that Metal Gear Solid movie is gonna actually happen?
I think it will.
With Jordan Vogt Roberts directing it.
I don't know it's going to be him. He keeps talking about it. He's in the news again, talking about he wants to make it with Kojima.
That's my issue with this. It's like he's been talking about this fucking movie for the past year at least, maybe possibly 2. Like, what's the start date, or what's the holdup? Like, he hasn't actually said anything. He just posts pictures of him hanging out with Kojima or going like, "This will be a great movie." And it's like, based on what? You haven't started it yet. You've done no pre-production.
Well, he's done pre-production for himself.
Yeah, there's essentially nothing. Like, at this point, just make a fan film like Nathan Fillion did.
You know what? Maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea. Because, Nathan Fillion can make it work because he has history with the series. And there's already, isn't there an Uncharted movie? There's an Uncharted movie already being made, so it's like...
Well, it's been announced, but it'll fall through like they always do.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Holland is filming on, like, Spider-Man 2 right now. Like,
right.
Unless they're waiting for him to get older, which, I mean, he's only 22, so that might be valid, but that's my problem with all these game movies. They're like game TV shows. Like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. You're not wrong. And we have another one to continue to talk about as they continue to cast people. Ben Schwartz is going to be Sonic in the Sonic movie.
See, at least they're making this one. Like, they're filming it. I think it's going to be a terrible movie. Like, not due to him or Jim Carrey. Well, partially due to him. Or James Marsden, but I just think it's a bad idea for a Sonic movie in general.
Yeah, I mean, they've done okay with the cartoon, but a cartoon's different than a movie.
The only good Sonic cartoon is that, like, 1993 one on ABC.
They have some success with the...
Remember Sonic Underground? When it was
God.
Sonic?
Oh, yeah. That was bad.
And they had Jaleel White playing a female character, and I'm like, wait, what?
Well,
So, I mean, they're making this film. It'll likely be bad. It'll likely be for kids. That's fine. But, yeah. I think Ben Schwartz will do a pretty good job as Sonic, though.
Yeah, I mean, he has experience. He does DuckTales right now as Dewey.
My real hope for this is, did you ever see him on Parks and Rec?
No. That's one of those, like, it's on the list of watching series that...
I should send you some clips of him on Parks and Rec. He is the most, like, asshole character on that show you could imagine. And if he was like that for Sonic, it'd be the greatest thing ever.
That would be awesome, but I doubt it. I could see him doing it to, like, Robotnik or whatever, but I don't know that he would do it constantly.
Yeah.
Because he is he is like a smart ass sometimes, even in the games, to Robotnik. Yeah. So, I like Ben's, like, I can't remember what movies or... He's famous for another show that I can't think of right this minute. Like, a younger kids show.
It's not House of Lies, probably.
Oh, well, House of Lies, I liked, so that's probably where I'm thinking of him from. But,
But was it Randy Cunningham?
Oh, the House of Lies is the one that I'm thinking of that I liked him in, because
okay.
I like that show. But, I think he's going to do fine.
Yeah, I think it for celebrity voice act for like they didn't get like a super big star, which is probably good.
I think he fits better than Jim Carrey doing Robotnik, but
I still want Danny DeVito.
you can't beat that perfect casting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this has a date, November 15th, 2019. Let's see if they hold to that. But, we'll see. I'm glad that they keep casting people. There is 2 female.
Yeah, they're like middle-aged actresses. They're both, I think, African American. I imagine they'll be like sisters, or like the James Marsden is playing a cop in the show, so they might be like coworkers of his or something. Who knows?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a mix of CG and live action, so we'll see how they base this. Obviously, until they cast them, we don't know if Tails or Knuckles or any of the other gang are going to be in it. But I'd imagine at least Tails has to be in there somewhere. Like, unless they're going to make this like Sonic 1, where it's just Sonic the whole time. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like one of them has to be in there somewhere. If you want to save Knuckles for a next movie, then I can understand that.
I just want to see Uncle Chuck.
Wait till we have Big Cat. That's what we need. Right there. So Blizzard is...
Speaking of Big the Cat, they actually showed him in that Sonic racing game trailer.
Oh, that makes sense. They only have so many characters. They gotta have him in there.
No.
I mean, are you really gonna sit there and like realize it's him when you're looking at a cart? Though, I guess I don't. It's still gonna bother you that you're using Big Cat.
Yeah.
So Blizzard is in the news for various things. Overwatch crowned their first league champion. Congrats to the London Spitfire. That's about all I'm going to say about that, because neither one of us watched the Overwatch League at all.
Or care about Overwatch.
Yeah, that too. They are working on various Diablo things, is all that we know.
The running theory is Diablo, at least on Switch. Diablo 3, at least. That's probably pretty obvious.
That's maybe a no-brainer. Should be doing it. And are doing it.
I would assume Diablo 4, like they're making another one. Because Diablo 3 has been out for a while, and they've had expansions and like some DLC, but that game's old at this point.
Yeah.
And then I imagine maybe Diablo on like mobile, or like some pared down version. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything's coming to mobile, and I think there was a new some kind of statistic or survey that was out that like 96% of the people that play mobile games are also some kind of gamer.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so why not? Fortnite's making it work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, are you excited for a Diablo 4? Or?
Yeah, like it's been a while. I doubt they do some of the dumb shit they did with Diablo 3.
Yeah, I think they learned their lesson after they had to have the expansion come out to fix Diablo 3, basically.
It's funny, I've been playing Victor Vran with a buddy of mine on PS4. Because it's the only dungeon crawler aside from Diablo 3 on the PS4.
Oh, really? Wow.
And the funniest part is I hadn't get the Overkill edition, and it's $40 on PSN and $20 from Amazon. And it's like, tough choice there.
Yeah, really, right?
The only thing I would like from Diablo, if they do make Diablo 4, is I would like it to be brighter. Diablo 3 was a dark game. And even in the areas that were supposed to be like somewhat bright, it was still not bright.
They never fix the brightness, or you fix it.
It wasn't a brightness problem. It was like an aesthetic problem, I thought.
Ah, okay.
Like it was every area was just like very downtrodden, and There was like, I guess like the desert was okay, but that was kind of about it. Even like heaven, I was like, this is all right, I guess. Like it's not. I didn't think it was anything special.
Yeah, I mean, did Diablo 2 have its?
Yeah, but that
right?
game came out like 2001, so that's a little more forgivable.
Yeah, I think I'm sort of interested. I might play more of it. I mean, I have it on. Well, I had it. I don't know if I had it on Xbox One. I traded it in because I didn't have anybody to play it with me.
Yeah.
Switch, I might be interested.
I would say that the danger with the Switch version really is I don't think it'll run well.
Yeah, that'd be worried about that.
They can't. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but they can't get Dead Cells working on the Switch correctly yet. It's
really?
It's having like animation. Like the director or like this company put out like a release saying like fixing Dead Cells animation is going to be one of our priorities, because it's like, I guess if there are more than 2 enemies on the screen, the frame rate turns to shit.
Ooh.
So it's like, all right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's one of those cloud games or something.
I severely doubt that.
I mean, they could do it, but yeah, they've probably been working on it long enough that they've either got it working or they've got some kind of version of it working.
Well, I imagine they probably downscaled the graphics, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think every game needs to look like people have it has to look, brighten or like the best thing ever. And it's like,
yeah, not every game's going to look like Zelda.
Yeah.
On there. And
I'm happier with a steady frame rate than it looking good, but having an inconsistent frame rate or jumping all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, like, when Square was talking about, people asked if, because Octopath Traveler was on Nintendo and Bravely Default was also, exclusive to 3DS, if, like, they're going to just be doing those kind of games for, like, Nintendo systems. And they said, well, yeah, those, like, kind of mid-range games are what works really well on the Switch, and that's kind of true. You're not... I mean,
yes, but also I think people, like, if Octopath came to PS4 and like a slightly better version, that'd do well.
No, it would, but I think the portability helps. Like, it's made to be kind of portable too.
Yeah.
I think that, like, that's the thing is, the Switch is great, but like, I mean, I pity you if you bought Wolfenstein 2 on that thing.
Or NBA 2K18 or WWE 2K18
or FIFA or whatever. Like, don't buy the big games on that system. Like,
buy the indies and buy the Nintendo crap, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, like, Nintendo knows how to make it work. The indies are great on that system. I played Pool Panic a lot more on my Switch than I did on the PC. Like, when they gave me the PC code, I didn't think that they would give me the Switch code. And then it showed up, and I was like, okay. And I could play it a lot more on the Switch because it's just, I don't know, it's better portable than doing, on the PC. So, yeah, it's basically, to me, it's like a better Vita. And Nintendo figured out how to make it work by not only supporting it, but, making it worthwhile. So, but then you have announcements like this that get people upset because it's not coming to Switch, and it's a game that if it was on Switch, it would do awesome. Not that it won't do awesome on 3DS, but Persona Q2 got announced. It's officially called Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth. It has the Persona 5 cast along with the Persona 3 and Persona 4 cast, including the Persona 3 female protagonist that was only in the portable version. And it's probably sometime 2019 for the West, considering how they do translation, if there is much talking in that game, because I remember the 3DS one being mostly text-based, if there was any.
Yeah, but that's what's going to take forever.
And I would say like March at the earliest, 2019. If it's coming out November this year for Japan.
Yeah.
So, you know, I really liked the first game, but I traded it in. I was also going through something at the time, so that's made it easier for me to trade it in. But I also wasn't. I hadn't played Persona 5 yet. That kind of got me into really caring about the other characters and whatever in the Persona series. So
yeah,
but definitely, if you can find it cheap for your DS, I guess it was it 3DS or I can't remember.
I think 3DS at least,
but yeah, no, it's worth playing, especially if it's more dungeon crawlery than the main games. But if you like those, I definitely would pick up the first one.
Yeah.
The trailer make
the 3DS game.
The chibi characters are really cute too, so that helps. Are you? I know you don't have a 3DS, but
yeah, that's a problem.
But would you want to play this? If
I could, sure. Like, keep bugging them for that Switch version.
So what do you make about the whole like them still doing games for the 3DS? Obviously, this was already in development, I think, before the Switch got popular.
Well, some games need it. Like, they made that WarioWare game this week or last week. You know, they didn't just make it last week or this week, but it just came out
last week, yeah.
But like, that game has touch. You know, you need to touch the screen.
Right.
You can't do that with a Switch. Like, you know, docked at least. Like, that's an issue. This game might have a lot of touch screen crap in it too.
Well, you need the two screens because you're looking at your menus on the bottom screen, and what's going on is happening on the top screen.
But was the first one turn based or was it action?
It's turn based. It's turn based.
They could put that on the screen. Like, it's not that inconceivable. I just think it's the same problem that Nintendo's kind of always had when they've had weird splits like this. Like, I think it was like I want to say maybe the GameCube, the GB, or maybe it was the Wii, but it was like the GBA
and the DS, and
and the Wii or game. I think it was GameCube, and they're like, "Oh, the GBA is going to be our third pillar," and it's like, why? The DS is already out, and it's a better console. Who's still making GBA crap?
Well, they still made GBA crap for a while after.
But it wasn't as good as the old stuff. Right. When the GBA was the only console.
The thing is, the 3DS is still selling. I think they sold 4 million or whatever this year already. So, you know.
Yeah, but for those people, it's just like, all right, here's all the old 3DS stuff we have. Here's a 25% permanent discount on all of the Nintendo stuff, like Zelda and Mario. Go at it.
Yeah. Plus, there's still people that they can afford 150, but they can't afford 300 because the Switch is 300 without buying a single game. So,
if I had the money to buy a 3DS, I probably would. Especially like that Super Nintendo one that looks awesome.
Oh God, yeah, I want that one.
But yeah, it's like the 3DS is obviously more handheld I think it's more portable than the Switch.
Yeah, absolutely. It fits in your pocket way better. Even the big one, I have the big new 3DS, and it fits in your pocket well. Not like the Switch where half of it or a fourth of it hangs out of your pocket.
Well, you need two pockets, one for the Switch and then one for the controllers.
Yeah, if you take... Well, I meant with the Joy-Cons attached, a lot of it hangs out of your pocket. If you take the Joy-Cons off, then you'd have to be using both pockets.
Yeah.
So.
I think they'll continue... I think certain companies will continue to make 3DS stuff, like Nintendo and Atlas. But I think a lot of the other companies have moved on to the Switch. For good reason.
It also uses a lot of the Etrian Odyssey like mechanics, and that's all on those systems already. So
yeah,
you know, you kind of gotta. The Switch is getting the Shin Megami Tensei 5 game, so it's not like you're not getting. I mean, yeah, it's not Persona, right? Because there's Persona fans that don't like the SMT games.
Yeah, there's like a weird. I think the SMT games aren't. They don't have like the high school aspect, or it's like slightly different.
Well, yeah, the Persona. There's a reason why the Persona ones are made into animes, and the SMT ones are not. You know, so yeah, I mean, there's a certain crowd that also brings in with it that, like you said, the SMT ones don't. SMT is more like it's almost like the Dragon Quest people. Like,
yeah,
there's a certain subset of people that play those. I don't know if Dragon Quest XI is going to be the one that finally breaches that gap of getting more people into it or whatever, but we'll see when September 4th rolls around.
Yes.
So
I've never played a Shin Megami game aside from like Nocturne on the PS2.
I had the one before the Strange Journey one or whatever on the 3DS.
Yeah, and the conventions for those games are insane to me.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I was like, okay, I'm taking this back. Like,
well, it's not the game. It's just like the naming convention. It's like, oh, here's 4, and then here's 4 director's cut or something, and then here's 4 again in like some other version. It's like,
well,
what?
And then they're really hard too. They're a lot harder than Persona.
Yeah,
to kind of understand. So there's that as well. So something that's sort of surprising is that the Def Jam Vendetta games could be coming back. The Def Jam folks were asking people on social media if they would want a new game from the series. Obviously, Vendetta was really popular because it basically was like No Mercy or
it was like the last of the Aki Engine games in America.
Yep, exactly. And then they kind of improved upon that with Fight for New York and had like a better story.
I remember playing that one, I think.
I loved Vendetta because it was pretty much like, it was a wrestling game. Right? And then
I played Def Jam New York, Fight for New York. That's when I played.
That one was fun too because it had the wrestling game mechanics, but it was out of the ring. And they had a good story. No,
that one was good because it had Ice-T in it and Henry Rollins.
Oh, well, that too. Ice-T was awesome in that. But then Icon came out and it wasn't that good.
It was a different game. It was made by EA. It was more like a rhythm fighting game than just like a wrestling game.
Right. The problem is Aki's making the Style Savvy games now for Nintendo, so I mean, not that you can't. I mean, that's not the hardest engine to figure out, right? It's not to have the whole like press A for weak attacks and then like hold A for a strong attack or whatever is not anything brand spanking new. So they could get somebody in there to kind of emulate it for a new game.
I think I'm sure they have the old Aki Engine source code somewhere. If they just remade that with like HD graphics, people would go nuts.
Yeah, they definitely would. And then you add in, the new whoever's with Def Jam now. I have no idea.
You get that old Ukes model for CM Punk. You just throw him in there.
Jesus Christ. I'm sure, like, maybe Kanye or whatever would want to be in the game or something. Yeah, it would get people into it. If they can make the story work, then, go for it. Go for it, Def Jam.
Get Henry Rollins back and get Ice-T back.
Yeah, get Henry Rollins back. Get them all back. What's Ice-T doing? It's still the what is
SVU.
it? SVU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a huge gamer, too.
Yeah, let him go be in a game again. Why not?
Like he's been in a lot of games too. Like not as himself, as like just voicing characters. which is kind of rad.
Yeah,
I think he's in Gears of War 3 and then GTA San Andreas, I think, and like other crap.
Yeah, him and Method Man enjoy all that stuff there. Something I'm sure that you won't, that will further make you not want to play Fallout 76. It's not going to be on Steam.
Yep.
So,
and it's funny because I have a buddy who's a huge Fallout 4 fan. Like he's the friend of mine who, he figured the building system out. He loves it. He created like a whole bunch of new bases that were very detailed and cool looking. And I told him this, and he was like, basically, fuck this game.
It's that important that you don't play on the Bethesda net.
Well, it's unnecessary. That's my always problem with these launchers. Like, why? If you don't want Steam to have the cut, but you're going to sell 10 times as many copies on Steam than you would on your own stupid launcher, that might tell you something. Also, like, I was reading a news story about how their launcher is like incredibly buggy and like premature was like the term the guy used. Like it crashes constantly and no one uses it except for like the one game that might. I think like Quake Champions uses it and that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, Fallout Shelter did show up on Steam, like I think like 6 months later. 9 months later, whatever it was.
And then, if this shows up on Steam, that's fine, eventually. But I have serious reservations about Fallout 76. Like to me, it's shaping up to be like Metal Gear Survive.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
They literally have fucking robots telling you what to do. That was exactly what they did in Metal Gear Survive.
I agree. I don't know. I have a little bit of faith in Bethesda that they'll make it work. At least the, critical people will certainly say that they enjoy it. Even though Bethesda makes you wait till like the last day to review it. So, but
like I guess I'm pinning my hopes on like a Fallout 5 eventually that has a story or has some single player content.
Well, now that they're working on Elder Scrolls 6, waiting a while.
Yeah.
They're really pinning their hopes. Basically, I think they're pinning their hopes on this to work so they can just keep, messing with this until they get Elder Scrolls 6 out and then they can...
Well, it's like that and that, like, sci-fi game they're making, which is going to come out in like 2023.
Yeah. Whenever that is that comes out.
I mean, I have more faith that Cyberpunk's coming out than that game.
Well, that's because that they take their time, but their games get out there. Whereas, Bethesda... At least when they announce it, other than, with these two, where I think they felt like they needed to, so people stop asking about it.
Yeah.
Usually they announce and it comes out. Yeah. I mean, I should have mentioned this when we talked about the movies, but not that I care at all, because Minecraft can make stuff other than the Telltale thing, which, again, until Wolf Among Us comes out, I think I'm not going to care about anything Telltale at this point.
Yeah.
The Minecraft movie got delayed, so you Minecraft fans that were excited for this movie, it's probably not going to come out till 2020 now. So, keep waiting, folks.
Yeah. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Kids do, but I think by the time it'll come out, they'll be aged out of caring about it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Minecraft speaks to all ages, but mostly kids. A lot of them are now, they've turned to Fortnite. So, by then, maybe we'll have a Fortnite movie.
Yeah.
Who knows? At this point. So, WoW has a controversy with the story revolving around Battle of Azeroth.
Yeah. One of the Horde characters, like, turned super evil. And it's like, well, it's the Horde. They are evil. What do you want?
So why are they mad though? I don't understand.
Yeah, like there's not really they just kind of wrote it that way. Like it's a pretty abrupt change. She like burns down like the life tree of Azeroth, or like the world tree or something. I think it's called the world tree. But nothing changes. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's an MMO. Like, well, the thing is like, okay, in the events, like the first event is basically the Horde take over an Alliance city called Darnassus. It's like the night elf town, and that's where the tree is that they burn down.
Yeah.
So like, the Alliance get revenge by taking the Undercity, which was Lordaeron. It was like in World of Warcraft 3. Like that's where like the undead hang out. But nothing changes. Like, it's not like, oh, Lordaeron is now a new Alliance city and Darnassus is now a Horde city. Like, who cares?
Right, yeah. I know, it feels like some folks are upset about her, like her personality just
like she just kind of switches on. She just kind of switches on a dime. So that's an issue. But MMOs typically don't have good stories to begin with, so it's not too surprising.
And it's not like WoW doesn't have other places where they have their lore for you to.
Yeah. Go read the 19th book or something.
Yeah, which Destiny's just now getting, because I think they're just now having like their first book or whatever, and people seem to be excited for that with the Forsaken expansion coming. But hey, better late than never, Bungie. I guess.
Yeah. I'm still excited for Battle for Azeroth next week. I'm bugging Adam for it.
And giving you any positive?
Not yet.
Well, hopefully happens for you there.
Yeah.
Well, something different, because almost every publisher that comes out and talks now, they talk about how reviews don't matter, and day one sales don't matter anymore, and all that stuff. Well, Capcom seems to differ a little bit. They say that the sales matter, and obviously it's easy to say when Resident Evil 7 has sold well. Monster Hunter World keeps breaking records for them. That we care about the artistic side of things too. We know that we know our games are going to sell well. They're already saying Resident Evil 2 the remake is going to be a million seller and all that. But we care when our games get 9s and stuff. We don't want to have a bunch of 6s and then sell 7 million like Resident Evil 6 did. I don't know what he's trying to get at here, but all right. I mean, yeah, I guess you want to be a critical success.
I mean, it helps because, Resident Evil 7 did sell well, but I think people were pretty burned on Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, definitely that makes a difference. Like, people were sitting there waiting on is this a return to form, or is this more of the same that we've been getting? And then when they hear the good news, I think that helps people want to buy this. It also helps that it's like the big game that you can buy for your PSVR as well. But I think at this point, Capcom's doing the right thing, and of course you're gonna keep making. I find it funny that they had to answer the question of the whole, or are you gonna make more of your old games because of Resident Evil 2's remake getting so much publicity? Like, well, yeah, now we might go back in our catalog and look. It's like, okay, you've been doing this a while now.
Time to fire up that Dino Crisis HD remake.
Let's not.
I know some people who have a real weird love of that game.
I know some people do too. Like, I remember when, that was first out during that time period. People really enjoyed that game, but yeah, I look back at it now, it's not that great.
Well, it's Resident Evil Zombie with dinosaurs, and the problem is the dinosaurs move quicker than zombies, so the fixed camera angles and tank controls don't make that a fun experience.
Yeah, and then when they tried to make the new version of it, it wasn't good either.
Well, they made Dino Crisis 3 on the Xbox, and it was like a sci-fi game with like a jetpack. And it's like, this is strange. Like,
yeah, it's like when they try to have Star Fox do things you shouldn't do. It's like,
yeah,
it's like, all right, let's keep it where it should be. It's just
people liked it. People liked it for what it was, not what it could be.
Yeah, sometimes thinking outside the box is too far. Just one for me before we get to the entertainment stuff is that I'm sort of excited for what they're doing Digimon Survive, because every time they do a non-story game now, they go back to the old, like, where you're raising them and all that stuff that I can't stand. So they're sort of taking a different approach and making a strategy game with Digimon, so I'm all for that. Hopefully we get to see more than the small bits that they showed, so awesome. Keep going, Bandai. Do your thing. You know what? I shouldn't be surprised at all by what becomes a TV show now. Like, I feel like anything can become a TV show, because I can just cancel it after season 1 and be done with it. But Plain White Tees, their song "Hey There Delilah," which I thought I was done hearing about, is apparently going to be a TV show, because they like the story involved in that song.
If it makes you feel better, I've never even heard the song or the band before.
Really? That song was like everywhere in 2006.
Yes, at that time I still had an iPod and I was listening to good music.
Yeah, wow, yeah. Well, what? Okay, I was in college, yeah.
Yeah, so was I. I had an iRiver IHP 20 gigabyte MP3 player.
Oh, I lived in the dorms. You had to hear so much different music. Like, I think they played this at, like, college parties for some reason all the time. It's like, okay, enough, people. But yeah. You know what? You go for it, guys. If you make it work. I'm not watching it, but you make it work, guys. I want to see if this actually, like, goes into production. They're apparently pitching it to people, but... So, MoviePass has been through the ringer, if I could say the least, since the last time we did a podcast. They're making a movie with Bruce Willis in it.
Well, he equals box office dollars.
He equals a fan base that might go see it. I don't know that it's going to be a big one.
He equals, like, a very tired-looking Bruce Willis most of the time.
Yeah, that too.
Like,
the movie's called 10 Minutes Gone. That's
the last movie Bruce Willis was in that was good, or, like, he seemed to care about. That Mr. Glass movie he seems pretty interested in.
Yeah.
Or, like, pretty with it. Mm-hmm. The last movie before that was Looper, which was, like, 2012, 2013. And before that, The Whole Nine Yards in, like, 1997.
Jeez.
Remember Cop Out with Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan?
It's fine.
And Kevin Smith directing it and hating Bruce Willis.
Well, you know, Kevin Smith, your history with movies is not...
That's true.
Yeah. He has those early ones, you know, and then after that it's like a...
No, he has those early ones up until, I would say, Clerks 2.
Yeah.
It's not a great movie, but it's perfectly watchable.
Right.
And then he made Zack and Miri make a porno, and then he discovered pot thanks to Seth Rogen, and then all those movies after that have been utter shit.
Oof. Don't even remind me about Jersey Girl. Ooh.
But that was before Clerks 2. That's a fun. Like, that's not my type of movie, but it got okay reviews.
Yeah.
It was better than Geely.
Well, you know.
But,
a lot of things are better than Geely.
No, he's making shit like Tusk and Yoga Hosers.
Yeah. Why?
And his pitch on Tusk is, I got really baked when I was doing a podcast with my friend, and we came up with Tusk. And it's like, yeah, it shows. That's why no one saw it. He keeps
throwing around that he's going to do Clerks 3, and then...
No, he was going to do it, and then Jeff Anderson turned him down. Yeah. And now he's rebooting James Silent Bob.
Well,
because he can get Jason Mewes. He can.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to get Jason Mewes.
He'll get Brian O'Halloran as a cameo role or something.
Yeah, I mean, now you can just use the guys from the comic book show as well to be in it. Which I like that show, but it's one of those like I'll watch here and there.
I think it just got canceled.
It did? Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was on for 7 years.
Yeah, no, it's been on for a while. It's just like I felt like they started running out of crap to do. Like,
yeah, I think he's talking about trying to make it for move it to like some other network or some service or something. Who knows?
Well, it's like they try to make it like the comic book version of Pawn Stars.
Yeah.
And I mean, they got a following and everything. It's not like they don't, but I think AMC just.
The one funny thing about that show is, the guy on the show, Brian Johnson?
Yeah, the one that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, the guy with like the long, Ted Kaczynski beard. He did a movie with Kevin Smith in 2000, I think, called Vulgar, and it's hysterical.
What is it about?
It's Brian O'Halloran, the guy from Clerks, like the main, Dante from Clerks.
Right.
He plays a kid's clown, and he just he's really broke on his ass, so he decides to become like an adult entertainment clown as a kind of like a goof. And the first house he goes to, he gets knocked out by a father and his two like retarded adult sons, and they rape him and videotape it. And then he flipped the Brian O'Halloran's character flips out, and he saves a young girl from being held hostage, and becomes a big celebrity because of it, and gets his own show and everything. And then the father tries to blackmail him, we have tape of you having male sex or something like that. I'll admit, my summary probably not that funny, but there are moments in the movie that are good.
Well, somehow I went from there to...
That's a nice uplifting story.
Well, we're about to go all the way down again because MoviePass is just basically out there.
Well, speaking of being raped, MoviePass.
That's what they're... That's bad because we're going to talk about the James Gunn stuff too. So I don't know. We are... Sorry if those are jokes of bad taste, but so you know what, MoviePass, I think the movie thing is a smokescreen. Obviously, if that ever gets made, go them. This is not like Netflix where they can make movies and they'll be all right because they have 15 million subscribers. And you know what, MoviePass can go around saying that they are 6% of the box office all they want. It doesn't mean jack. When you run out of money, okay, you cause outages numerous times. You have that peak pricing thing that makes it to where you can watch movies at ridiculous times that nobody wants to watch movies at. Yeah. And now you limited which you should have done from the beginning because your system that you're using is just ridiculous. Now they've made it to where you can only watch 3 movies at once or a month for $9.95.
Yeah, but even that's still a better deal than at least going to the theater 3 times a month on your own.
No, I agree, but how long is this gonna last? You know?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, MoviePass is doomed. But it's I look at it as kind of the same way as like Napster when that came out, and then like record companies had to actually get off their ass and do something new. Like, because in MoviePass you had this AMC thing,
which is way better.
Look, if you have an AMC close to you, yeah, I don't. So
I don't either. I'm just.
It's like whatever. Like,
my closest AMC is like I think 45 minutes away from me. I'm not driving that far to see a movie.
Well, my mom gave me like 2 gift cards for like $20. And yeah, the nearest one by me is like at least 20 minutes or a half hour away, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm never going to use these.
Yeah, I mean, because you'd have to either ride a bus or find somebody to take you
like
there.
go see a movie with someone. Yeah. Yeah, if there's an AMC like a mile away from me, sure, I'd buy AMC's thing, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3 movies a month is fair. That's probably about average what people watch. So, I just wonder if this is like too little too late. Like, are you going to remove the peak pricing thing? Are you going to, all the restrictions are you going to let people watch a movie twice now? Because maybe if there was nothing else that's coming out that month, but they want to watch, Avengers Infinity War 3 times, are they going to get that ability, or is that still restricted?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if like Cinemark has their own thing too. There's that cinema thing that's out there. I do feel like this is going to cause like every chain that's not like I have one that's technically a chain, but it's like very spread out, and it's only in certain states, and I think they have like 1 theater per whatever city it's in that state.
Mine is it's called Phoenix Theaters.
Yeah, and
like we took over this like the local theater in my town because I think it went under, but I have no idea like how spread out this is, because they actually do have gift cards and stuff, but if it's just literally the one theater, then what's the point?
Yeah, like I don't. That's something where MoviePass might actually be like beneficial to you, because like for me to even see a matinee, that's $7.25 plus you at least got to buy a drink because you're gonna get thirsty through that 2 hours. So that's like 13 something.
Oh, the one here is $5 for a matinee.
Oh, that's not bad.
And I think it's only like $7.50 for like an actual theater, an actual like want to see something late at night.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, again, like I just feel like MoviePass just made it to where they had a system that's like unsustainable.
Yeah.
AMC is corporate. Like, even if everybody signs up for this thing, they're gonna be okay. Like, MoviePass served this purpose, like what we talked about. I'm not gonna be surprised if they don't last past this year.
Oh yeah, I just took a look. There are 4 Phoenix theaters, and that's it.
Damn, so are they all in?
Yeah, they're all in Michigan. Or 3 are in Michigan, and 1's in Iowa. So
the one near me is called Flagship Cinemas, and they have them in various. I don't want to go look at the website right now, but they have like
I don't blame. Yeah,
the one in Homestead right now, and then others, and yeah, I mean, those small ones, you're gonna have to kind of just deal with it the way whatever system you have for a while, because the MoviePass is gonna go out. But like I said, I think there's gonna be either theaters will start like partnering up for these things, or they'll figure out something. Like,
yeah. Well, it'll be like I said. I think it'll be like some type of iTunes or like even Spotify. Probably more like Spotify. You just pay $10 a month or $20 a month to see, 2 or 3 movies, or get some discount on
the food.
Yeah.
And there you go. And you're still going to the movie experience, you know.
Like it'd be well, I was going to say it'd be interesting if they had like a sliding scale where it's like, okay, you can see one movie and you get 15% off on concessions. You see 2 movies, you get 10%. You see 3 movies, you get 5. Something like that.
Yeah, I could see that happening too. Because they kind of do that already sometimes, depending on... I think Cinemark's thing does that. So, you know, it's they're figuring it out. I just think that, again, you're going to have to, like, yeah, you're either going to have like a Spotify thing, or you're going to have a bunch of theaters come together so that it branches out more to other people. Because, again, like, not everybody has an AMC in their area. I don't even know if we have a Cinemark in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, period. Not alone, I don't even know if there's one in Florida. So, like, where I lived in Texas, we had a bunch of them. But,
yeah,
you know, it doesn't do anything for me here. I don't know if you have Cinemarks up there.
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah. So, see, we're both in this situation.
Yeah, I have seen a few. There's one, like, 15 miles from me.
That's not... Yeah, that's far. So...
I actually know where... Now that I look at the map, I do know where it is, but I would never really go out there on my own. Like,
yeah, it would have to be like going out there for a reason.
Yeah.
So, speaking of having reasons to keep somebody around, this has been a back and forth thing for the entire week. Disney is, you know, currently they're doing their exit strategy with James Gunn because, you know, he didn't violate breach of contract or anything, so they had to give him his severance. And, well, now they keep going back and forth between, well, they're not going to hire him, or they're not going to rehire him, but they want to use his script still. But, oh no, they might not use his script. And then Dave Bautista has said that he won't be Drax anymore if they don't use James Gunn's script, which... Normally, he doesn't play around when he says stuff like that, so I don't know how much Disney's going to care if they recast him at the end of the day.
Well, there's a few things. I think they will use a script, honestly, because he sets up a lot of stuff in the second movie that they kind of need to wrap up.
Right.
And also, they can just pay him for the script. Like, he was originally a writer, like,
yeah.
There's probably some bad blood, but they'd still pay him. I mean, aside from his director settlement. I think, I don't know about Dave Bautista, but I think at least Chris Pratt has said he's only scheduled or contracted for 5 movies, like the 3 Guardians movies and then Avengers 1 and 2, or 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Bautista probably has the same type of contract, you would imagine.
And the other ones, I'm sure, around that. Too.
And I think he said like he will legally do what is required of him, but he could always try to ask out of his contract or pay some fine or something. But I would say he in particular was probably the breakout character of that franchise.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously he's doing Jurassic.
No. Wait,
you mean Batista?
Batista.
Yeah. I mean, that other than like Rocket and Groot for various reasons of them being raccoons and a freaking tree, I think of the human-ish characters, Drax is the one you think of. He's the one that has the best lines. I mean, I can't stop laughing at some of the stuff. Even rewatching it, he's still great. Like, you know. Like, he gets to say that he's in those movies and he can live off that. I mean, so he doesn't seem like the type of guy that's like he takes care of himself, so I wouldn't think that he's like, oh my god, I gotta keep doing this. He's doing it because he cares.
Yeah. And ultimately I respect him. Like, he's loyal to James Gunn, which is they should all, honestly, all are and should be.
Yeah.
Did you see? There's a story though that I guess WB wants James Gunn. Like once all the Disney stuff is taken care of, like they want him, and it's like, yeah, no shit, they want him.
Well, like, now, but like this is what's so stupid. If not, because of that, there's also talk that like, oh, they might try to get James Gunn to do another Marvel movie, and it's like, why not just let him keep doing Guardians at that point then? If you're gonna let him do another Marvel movie, people are gonna find out he's the director, and they're gonna complain the same way. Like, I honestly think that you're making this a bigger deal than it is. Like, the people that are gonna protest, really, is it gonna be that big of a protest? Like, this thing's still gonna make millions of dollars. Like,
well, the other issue is like, look at someone like Johnny Depp. There is a fairly certain thing, like event that he probably, like, he abused his wife or hit her or grabbed her or did something. They're still making movies with him.
Well, they pulled the Biggie one, apparently.
Yeah, but that was something like that. That was something else.
Yeah,
but they made that.
I mean, he's in freaking Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah,
and the second movie is centered around him, so they could have recast him.
Yeah.
And that's also a family-friendly... I mean, WB doesn't care the same way. But it's a family-friendly movie series.
Right.
So, Chris Hardwick is back for that game show, and people aren't very happy about that either.
Dead show. Yeah.
No, not Talking Dead, the other show. He does like a game... Not the...
No, you're thinking the NBC show. But he's also coming back for Talking Dead. Right.
But Talking Dead's different. Like, that's a little, it's the Walking Dead people, and Walking Dead's not for everybody. Like, the NBC show is obviously, much more for everyone, and I think that's what people are kind of upset about, but, they let him back too. I don't know. The fact that there's people at Disney that thought that this was kind of like... You're basically telling somebody that they can't have their own sense of humor.
And the real shame of it is James Gunn has essentially scrubbed himself off the internet.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking for like some of his old YouTube clips or like his shows. They're all gone. Luckily, I still had one of my favorite my favorite thing he did saved because I wanted to show it to a friend, and I re-uploaded it like on my YouTube, but everything he did is gone now at this point. There's like one video left.
Yeah.
And also, ultimately, he didn't do anything.
I mean, again, like, I get that those jokes were really bad. Like, there's nothing, you can't defend that, honestly. But I don't know that that's necessarily like Disney saying that that's okay if they keep him on. They're old. It isn't a different time of the way we are and the way Twitter was. And, again, this is not like Roseanne saying something in today's world that shouldn't be said. That's just you spouting off and being an idiot. This is something that was said 10 years ago. I mean, again, it was awful. I don't want to seem like I'm defending what he said or joked about. But, I get it. There's people that are never going to be happy, and everything is... You gotta scrub that from the world, because if that sentiment's out there, somebody's going to believe it and whatever, and you have your right to feel the way you want to feel. It's just, I don't know. I still believe this is Disney going against the... I don't think that it's going to be this immense boycott of Guardians 3 if he would have stayed on as the director.
Oh, no.
I don't.
Not
I think
at
it's people
all.
Just saying stuff. And if you want to protest in front of a theater, whatever. Are you going to do it? Really? Probably not. It's not coming out tomorrow. It's coming out, what, in 2 years, 3 years?
There was a funny Kevin Smith story he talked about once where people were protesting Dogma when it first came out, like 98.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and he was protesting with them, and they didn't even know who he was. And his sign was like, Dogma is dog shit. And like he got interviewed by like a local news reporter or something, and she didn't know who he was either. So he's like, oh, this movie's terrible, and everyone who's in it should be cast to hell or something like that.
Oh, my God. Well,
I mean, yeah, I want him back. I would actually say if he's not back, and if they're not using his script especially, but if he's not back, I'm probably not going to see that movie.
Yeah, I would definitely wait till it's on Netflix or whatever. Well, it won't be on Netflix. It'll on their Disney thing.
Yeah, Disney's going to stop having their movies be on Netflix.
I think Captain Marvel's the last one. So
I thought it was like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Well, the deal that I saw is Captain Marvel was going to be the last one on there.
Okay, probably, but...
Or maybe Captain Marvel's going to be the first one on the Disney thing.
Yeah, but that Disney thing's supposed to be like, what, next year? Like at the earliest?
Yeah.
Like late next year.
Which, no surprise, they're not going to have R-rated stuff on there.
Yeah.
Even though, if parental controls not work all of a sudden, Disney? I mean, okay. I guess technically all their R-rated stuff was under the Miramax label, which is not Disney, so...
Bring back the V-chip.
So what are they gonna put Deadpool under the Miramax label when they get that? How are they gonna do that?
Funny. They'll probably still use the Fox label, or I don't know if they're actually getting the Fox name or not, but
no, they're not, because Fox is keeping the name for the network and everything.
Oh,
they're just getting the studios. I'm sure they'll just rename it.
Yeah, Disney Extreme. So. No, they'll call it Yensid.
God. No, I mean, that's the thing, too. Disney's not squeaky clean here. They have a really bad history themselves.
Yeah.
When it comes to things. But, I mean, they're trying to get... I applaud Disney a lot for how they're trying to do this service. Like, they're trying to fight TNT and getting the Star Wars, the old Star Wars movies. It's not going to happen. If I'm Turner, I'm fighting them for everything I can until 2024 because it's freaking Star Wars. People will watch those on TNT if they got nothing else better to do because it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's how my daughter watched them. I just recorded them off, on PS View. I just recorded them off there, and she watched those versions. So
see, I have like the super expensive DVD versions of Star Wars, like the good three. So that's how I watch them.
Well, that's smart.
These are like the only the editions I have are like the only editions of DVDs that like are the original films.
Oh, they don't have them editing stuff?
No. Well, it's not the special editions. It's the original ass ones.
Oh, okay.
AKA the good ones.
Yeah, the good.
There's no weird CGI Java or any dumb crap like that.
Yeah, no weird stuff in there. But yeah, I mean, Disney's making shows, doing things for it, so I'm excited for when that comes out. I will probably subscribe. Did they ever release the price for that thing? Or they still haven't figured that out?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they keep saying it's going to be in that $7.99 range, which is fine. But yeah, hopefully they don't. But I can also see Disney, as soon as they get the rights to anything that people really want, I could see them bumping that price up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that Disney's also going to get in that deal is The Simpsons. But, of course, Fox, because it's their freaking one of their cash cows, they're going to try to come up with a deal with Disney to keep The Simpsons and the rest of their Sunday night shows on Fox. It's crazy to me to say that The Simpsons is going to be in a 30th year. Good Lord.
I have to imagine there are a lot of business deals, especially with The Simpsons, that would create problems.
Yeah. That, like, Fox has to make sure they keep it if they don't.
Yeah.
You know, I've... Yeah,
go ahead. Disney is getting their film division, basically Fox's film division. I don't think they're not getting the TV one, though, are they?
They're getting technically anything that's produced by 21st Century Fox.
Okay, well, that is The Simpsons, then.
Yeah. So, that's why, is because they're produced by that studio.
Yeah.
So, you know. And I think technically Family Guy is as well, so they would have to make a deal with for Family Guy.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't think it's going to take much, but I'm sure Disney will make them pay for it. So,
well, at least with this deal, when this deal happens, Disney can finally get Star Wars back for home release.
Oh, Fox owns that?
Yeah, Fox. Well, Fox put out like the original Star Wars. They
okay, that's right.
Like distributed it, and the deal was like they can have it. I think in like perpetuity, but then like Lucas got like the toy money.
Then he
sold
like, all right. Kenner.
Yeah,
that was a whole ordeal. But you know, yeah, there's probably going to be several of these that are going to go down whenever Disney finally starts that service and makes the deal go through and all that. So we'll probably be hearing more about this stuff. Speaking of WB though, and CW by extent because they're involved with DC, lots of stuff going on from them as well. Because
and none of it good. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, I don't watch these shows, so I personally don't care. But I know there's a lot of people that do. Ruby Rose has been casted as Batwoman, who's going to be the, next character that's going to be put into the Arrowverse when they have that 4-episode thing.
I don't know the character at all. I don't know if you do either, really. But I could buy her as it, sure.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I like her in what I've seen. I watched, I think, the first 2 seasons of Orange is the New Black, and then she fell off.
Yeah, I watched up to season 4, and season 5 is a disaster, and season 6 made it better. Yeah. She was good in that.
She's good in John Wick.
Yeah, she was like a Resident Evil film too. I was gonna say one of the bad ones, but then I remembered they're all bad. So
yeah.
So yeah, sure.
You think that the Batwoman show is actually going to happen?
Oh yeah. No, I mean, with the amount of buzz this has generated, absolutely.
Yeah, I think as long as the ratings are equal to what they were last year for Arrowverse, I think you can pretty much guarantee the series is going to happen.
I guess the question I have, 2 questions. First is, I assume this will be some alternate Earth, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And then the second question is, okay, if they have Batwoman in this whatever Earth they're going to have, are they going to have Batman or some version of Batman or Nightwing or whoever, Robin?
They make allusion. I think Arrow's already made one allusion to Batman before. But that's all there's ever been. There's never been. I think this question got posed to them about if Batman would ever happen, and they're like, well, I mean, we do have the separate universes for a reason. I mean, there's nothing. That's
the same thing with Superman, like he showing up in Supergirl.
Yeah.
Like they're they're not going to get Ben Affleck as Batman. Let's just say that.
Well, no, I don't think Ben Affleck. I don't know. I think it would start a whole ordeal about, well, if you have him come into the Batwoman show, then how many people are going to be sitting there screaming about they want a Batman show now?
Yeah, they have that problem with Supergirl too.
Yeah, it's like, Gotham's going to end, and I don't know where they're going to end that this season.
Well, perfect. They can have that actor who's playing Bruce Wayne to show up in this Batgirl show or Batwoman show. They
could, yeah. I don't know. I think they want to stay away from that because then,
yeah,
that causes a whole lot of stuff. I mean, they're still trying to figure out where the heck they're going to put the Ben Affleck Batman in the timeline. So, let them figure that out first. I think we'll eventually see Batman, but I think give them credit though for trying to bring other characters into this and not. They could have easily done a Batman and Superman or whatever. They went with other characters first for the TV shows. So,
what's funny is I've actually been rewatching Lois and Clark, the old Superman show from like the mid-90s. Did you ever watch it?
I've watched some of it. Yeah, it's good.
It holds up shockingly well, and like Terry Hatcher's a really good Lois Lane, and Dean Cain is like a nice and friendly Superman.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like they've not been able to capture that or any other type of Superman in the movies. So,
the closest you get actually is in Supergirl. Like the Superman, they've only had him appear like 3 or 4 times, but the Superman they have on that show is also nice. Like, he's good.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I think this is going to be interesting how they go about this, because I think at some point you're going to have like Arrow end. I mean, even though they said they're not ending them anytime soon, but if you want to introduce new shows, you're going to have to. I mean, I can't imagine they can have these all going on at the same time, but.
At some point the CW just become the DC network by extension.
Yeah, the over-the-air DC network while we have our streaming service.
And they'll have like the new Charm sisters all start wearing like skin-tight costumes.
I wonder if that ever, even if they do it as a joke, in one episode, people are going to be like going nuts.
No, they did that every 5th episode in the original Charmed.
Oh, they did? Well, I mean, that's, different times. But I wonder if they do that, like people going, oh my God, they've already degraded themselves to this and whatever. This is supposed to be a different take on Charmed. Those folks.
Well, if that's the case, they wouldn't use like the same house and the same iconography as the old show. I watched like the Charm trailer and I was just kind of baffled by it.
I can't wait till the Buffy one comes.
Yeah.
How much different that's going to be. Speaking of different here, The Sandlot, which is one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid.
I thought you were going to talk about the Supergirl movie.
Oh, Supergirl movie, that's right. Hey. Why not? Right?
It's a continued example of how DC does not get it.
Why do you say that?
I like Melissa Benoit. I think that's her last name.
Yeah.
I like her as Supergirl. I like the dude who plays Barry Allen in The Flash as the Flash. I don't need alternate versions of these characters that are not good. Like, I guess arguably the Flash in the Justice League movie, he was okay, but I didn't care about him.
To be fair, they started the wrong way, right? They started with the Justice League movie and then made the separate movies. So that's kind of their fault too.
It's still like splitting the shows or splitting the universe, the characters up into a TV show and a movie that have like no connection, but are like the same character.
To be fair, they have established that they don't care. So
yeah, that's my issue. Like Marvel, I mean, they're not going to have a Thor TV show, or they're not going to have an Iron Man TV show. That's impossible. But the few times they've had like the movie characters on the TV show, like the obvious one is Coulson. It's the same character.
Yeah.
And they could do a better job of incorporating like the Netflix shows into like the greater MCU, or reintegrate S.H.I.E.L.D. into the MCU, like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show or something. But it's still vaguely taking place in the same universe.
Well, I think the Netflix one, they keep them separate just because Disney, I don't know that they want to, really help Netflix in that regard.
Well, no, but it does still take place in the same universe.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to get Robert Downey Jr. to just show up on Jessica Jones in an episode. That'd be rad.
It'd be awesome great, if you did.
But they're not going to do it. But it'd be nice if they maybe got like Phil Coulson to be in an episode or something.
Yeah, I just don't know that they want to go through all that either.
Yeah.
But that's why they don't do it, so they don't have to worry about that. They just keep them into their own separate things. And
is it also weird that DC has Gotham on Fox, but all their other shows are on CW?
Well, to be fair, I think Gotham was going on before.
No, I mean, that's fine. Actually, I think Arrow preceded Gotham by quite a bit.
Yeah, but that's before they thought they were going to have all the other shows.
But, the Marvel stuff is on ABC, Netflix, Freeform, Fox, and Hulu. So they're literally on 5 different networks. And eventually 6, because it'll be that, their ABC or their Disney network.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yep. But, that's also when CW doesn't have, other than Riverdale and I think maybe some other Supernatural, they don't have a ton of stuff. Oh, iZombie. But,
that's ending, though, I think, right?
Yeah, I think they're on their last, season.
It's like they have Riverdale, Supernatural, iZombie, which is ending, and then, the 100, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's more than some networks have, though. USA has, nothing, and they used to have stuff.
They still got Suits.
Oh, yeah. People are still watching that now?
They just add a Katherine Heigl, and she means she equals ratings.
Yeah. So much so. It is what it is. They've got these, Aquaman, Shazam, the Wonder Woman, all happening. Go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited about the Wonder Woman because that movie, the first one was actually really good. Aquaman will be what it is. I'll see it.
Yeah. I think everyone's more excited for Shazam.
Yeah, because that looks like it fits. Aquaman is just
well,
all right.
That looks like it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, fun for me. I don't know about for everybody else. And speaking of by the ratings, and it keeps getting canceled. Timeless is actually at least getting a 2-part finale, so you aren't getting the movie, but you're getting something to finish it off. So that's nice that NBC is letting it happen, and then people can stop. Well, it won't stop people from wishing it just stays on, but at least you get a finish to it. So
how great would it be if, at the last minute, she just meets the doctor?
That would be really freaking weird. But why not, BBC? Just do it.
Their time machine or whatever, that life pod thing, just hits the TARDIS, and they both materialize in the present.
That would be amazing. I would so go for that. Let's have it happen. the just dreaming parts of time traveling stuff. But
Yeah.
why not? Well, you know what? Hey, now HBO is gonna make a series for the time traveler's wife, so I guess everybody's...
Stephen Moffat. Yeah.
Yep, Stephen Moffat's doing it, so I sort of have an interest.
I think he is a generally better writer than the last guy, Russell T Davies.
There's a lot of people that really can't stand what the Stephen Moffat stuff either, though.
I think he had his own bad quirks or bad habits.
Yeah,
but his were better than better than Davies.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I have other friends that like swear by Davies, so
like my big problem with Davies, the biggest one really is he kept, so every Doctor Who season really has like the whole like kind of season long mystery or season long,
right?
Baddie or like problem to solve it. The last 2 episodes solve it, but Davies was so ham fisted with his, like Torchwood, Bad Wolf, the drumming in season 3. It's like, this is all obvious, and this is all kind of bad.
At least Moffat hit it.
Yeah.
Better. I will say that. Yeah, I mean, that has it going for it. I sort of like the movie. It's one of those that, like, I always thought about going back and reading the book. I never did.
Reading what book? Or
The Time Traveler's Wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Look, HBO's doing it, so it gets some attention from me because they, other than, like, I don't know, I still don't know what to make of Sharp Objects yet. It's been okay. I don't know. I think it's trying to be too weird for its own.
I gotta say, I'm only watching one TV show right now. I don't know about you.
I'm watching Castle Rock as well.
I'm watching that. I'm like 2 episodes behind, but that's still good. The only show I'm watching really is like Lodge 49.
Yeah, I'm watching Sharp Objects and Castle Rock. I think that's about it.
I'm watching Preacher, but I'm just kind of hate watching it instead.
I'm a season behind, and every time you tell me like don't bother. So.
Yeah, there was a great review I saw. I think on like last week's episode, and I think it was either from IGN, and then I think it was from AV Club, because they always have like the review, and then they have a few like random observations at the end.
Right.
And the observation was, I remember when Jesse used to have superpowers. That was fun. And I read that, and I'm like, yeah, it was. What happened?
It's not as fun anymore. Before we get into the last thing, which is more your thing than mine, Charlie's Angels is getting a second reboot film. Why? The only good thing is Elizabeth Banks is directing it, and she's also going to be Bosley, which could work out to being really fun as well. The problem is that as far as the actresses go, I don't necessarily care about any of them, including... Go ahead.
On.
Well, I was just saying, like, you're putting Kristen Stewart as one of them, which does not strike me as, like, working really great for this film. And maybe they're changing the attitude of what Charlie's Angels is or whatever. Naomi Scott and Ella Balinska are the other two as well to round out the cast.
See, the one I like is Naomi Scott. Like, she was decent in Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's true.
She'd probably be a good Jasmine when that Aladdin movie comes out. So that's, I don't care about the other two at all. But sure.
I don't know. I just think of like the things that I liked from those reboot films, which maybe people don't like because of again
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, but I know, like, I always had a crush on Drew Barrymore, so that helped. But I thought Lucy Liu was really good in those. I've never been a Cameron Diaz fan, but she really sold that well of like just being the fun person or whatever in those movies. I don't know. I don't get that from this casting here. So
Kristen Stewart always seems like a huge downer in movies
exactly.
or whatever she's in.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe they're making this more serious. I don't know, but yeah.
Did you see? We're going to talk about the Power Rangers movie sequel or no?
Well, yeah, I saw that it was getting a sequel, which surprised me because I thought Hasbro would just kind of do their own thing.
Well, it's a question if it's going to be another reboot or not. Who knows, really?
Right.
But did you see what I wrote on Sean Comer's Facebook?
No, I did not.
It was like the question was from the Nerdist, like, what do you want to see in a Power Rangers sequel? And my 3 things were scenes of characters actually morphed and fighting monsters on the ground, because the first movie didn't have that really.
Yeah, it didn't.
2 was original theme music, and then 3 was at least a 10 to 15 minute scene of Trini and Kimberly making out.
God, that's a fantasy that's probably not going to happen.
That would immensely have helped that movie, or the first one at least. Because it's funny because they made a huge deal about like Trini being gay or questioning her orientation, and it's not in the movie.
Yeah, the thing is though, it's like you got to be careful. That's the problem. Like nowadays, you got to be careful with everything. So. Imagine if that was in there, you would have Son He-Will panning that movie so fast. Like, not even a. But yeah, so we're gonna end on this. Go ahead.
Well, if they make a Power Rangers movie or sequel, like if it's a direct sequel, I'll probably see it.
I would too. So are you gonna bring in the Green Ranger or the White Ranger or?
Oh, they'll bring in Green, because even the last movie, the movie ended with like Tommy, like it was like an empty chair, like Tommy Oliver being name dropped.
Yeah.
But if it's like a reboot movie, I might be curious, but I probably won't see it actually, unless it's like very TV inspired.
Yeah, it's just they gotta toe that line, right? Because you gotta service those fans, but you also gotta let's see what Hasbro wants to do. I mean, they're doing that, 25th anniversary, like bringing some of the people back thing.
Well, they're making like a new episode for like Ninja Storm or whatever the hell series it is now. They just released like a huge big box set of like the first 3 series or seasons of like Power Rangers, for $160.
Oof. I mean, that doesn't seem too outrageous, but.
Well, I mean, they already have like seasons 1 and like the complete series for like $60 on eBay, on Amazon. But this comes in like a special edition case and like steelbook and everything. I was like, oh man, I want that.
You do.
Someone out there get that for Christmas for me, or that'll be my early Christmas present.
I went back whenever Netflix had I don't know if they still have the original series or not, but when Netflix had like all of them. Yeah. And like I went back and watched the first series and I was like, God, I forgot how corny this is.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's super, super corny. I was like, oh my God. I mean, the Morphin stuff is cool and all still, but like, even the whatever they're called, the
Zords.
No, the foot soldier things.
Oh, the putties.
Yeah, the putties. Like, even them, it's like, God, when we're kids, they just pass everything right by us, Like, we don't even think about that stuff. So, I will say, like, the designs for some of those, the villains were really out there.
Well, it was all Japanese stuff.
Yeah, so like the pumpkin thing and the pig and all that.
Yeah, there was like one monster that was just like made of eyeballs.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, you could definitely tell this is not American. Like,
but then they had like an episode that was basically like a Frankenstein monster.
Yep, that's true.
Like, all right, I remember way too much about that show.
Yeah, and me too. I mean, of course, I came home every day and from school and watched the thing.
Yeah,
so.
it's just burned into our memory.
Exactly.
I was talking to a friend of mine about like the show because he's from Germany and he didn't really watch it.
Yeah.
He has like no frame of reference really for it either, and he was like, "Do you still have these toys?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, no, I got rid of the old stuff and I bought new shit or new old shit."
Shit.
I sent him a picture of like the 1994. I got like the special edition Megazord that's like black and gold instead of like the regular colors, and he was like, "All right, like this looks cool."
Yeah.
And then I sent him a picture of like the old Dragon Dagger I have from like '94. He was like, "Okay," and he's like, "So it's also a flute?" Like he didn't quite.
Yes.
And then I sent him a picture of the Comic-Con special edition Dragon Dagger, which retails for $800. And he was like, there are fucking figurine, like, he's a big figurine collector of anime and stuff. He's like, the most expensive figure I want is $500.
Well, yeah.
And this thing is $300 more than the figure I want.
Yeah, but that dagger probably has, like, real pieces of something that make it that.
It's gold-plated, so that helps.
Yeah, certainly. That will jump it up in price really quick. So we're going to end with this and then get out of here because this is a really freaking long show.
It's been a while.
Patrick Stewart is coming back to Star Trek.
Amazingly. Hell yes.
Then the funniest... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, then it surprised me a little bit that the CBS boss was just like, my goal is to have a Star Trek thing going on all the time, if I could, on the All Access. So they're really gung-ho on doing everything Star Trek for that.
It's one of CBS's biggest properties. If they have different shows on, like it's kind of, it's kind of like a, we want to always have a Marvel show on or something. Like, yeah. The funniest thing I saw was like someone asking, like, I hope it's going to be like the TNG Picard who's like philosophical and pretty just kind of quiet, not quiet, but just like regal, and not the shooty like blowing up Picard from the movies. And my response was, Patrick Stewart's 78 years old. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be shooting a bunch of shit in this Star Trek show.
Yeah. I feel you on that one, too.
I mean, I guess my worry really is, like, he is up there age-wise, and so is, like, Ian McKellen. I think Ian McKellen might be older.
Yeah.
And they're not stopping, but you have to wonder, like, how much longer they have to go.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't blame the man for wanting to keep doing it.
No, if they want to keep acting, that's completely fine. But I mean, at that age, you have to wonder, this might, drop dead at some point, or have a heart attack, or just die in your sleep.
You're not wrong, but like that's morbid.
There's a great picture of, I think, William Shatner as Kirk from, like, it might have been Star Trek 6 or maybe, like, Generations, of him, like, looking, like, super pissed.
Yeah.
Just like the character. And, like, a friend of mine was like, oh, caption this photo. And my caption was, why is he getting another show and not me?
I mean, they've already said that if Captain Kirk wants to come back, they're not going to have a problem with it. So.
Well, I mean, Shatner is 10 years older than Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
And also, the one benefit to this really is it's continuing the timeline.
Right.
Because, like, the last thing in, like, the Star Trek timeline officially is, like, Star Trek Nemesis. Which, no.
That sounds bad.
But I want there to be, my problem with, like, the prequels and even, like, the movies to an extent are, it's all taking place in the past. I want this universe to keep expanding and growing and coming up with new and cool shit. Go for it. Make another one. Also, how many of the original cast are going to come back? Aside from Brent Spiner.
Well, we'll see when they get closer to it.
I think the one person they actually kind of have to bring back is Gace McFadden, Crusher. And the books, she's his wife.
Well, it depends, right? If they don't want to go on what happened in the books or something, then
yeah,
they don't have to. But
yeah, they can just ignore it like they do with Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So this is freaking super, almost 3 hour long show. Sorry, but there was a lot to talk about. When you were originally going to do this, there was nothing. So the games that came out this week, some good ones for indies. We talked about Dead Cells. We talked about We Have a Few. Madden comes out on Friday. You people that buy Madden every year, you know who you are.
You get to experience Rob Schneider in the story mode.
Apparently, the long shot Season 2 is not that great. But we'll see. Monster Hunter World comes out. What? Go ahead.
You're trying to say that something with Rob Schneider isn't good? The hell you say?
God. Overcooked 2 came out. Definitely want to check that out at some point. I loved Overcooked 1. Flipping Death also coming to PS4 and Switch. That's a pretty good indie game as well. Monster Hunter World comes to PC. Technically, you could be downloading it right now. And Cosmic Star Heroine comes to the Switch. That's a pretty good RPG that's very similar to Chrono Trigger. It's like the indie version of that, so I would check it out if you could. The first episode of Walking Dead, the final season, quote unquote, comes out next week. And I think that's about it for the and the Bard's Tale trilogy apparently comes to PC next week too. So, and the next Adult Swim game, which is an action RPG called Death's Gambit, comes out next week too. So
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, I'm hoping that when I wrap up this Pool Panic review, they will give us that one as well. If you want it, let me know. Yeah, so until next time. Oh, there's a Red Dead Redemption gameplay trailer that's going to show up at some point today. So have fun with that.
Yeah, I think it's 11 a.m. or something.
Yeah, I think it's 11 a.m. So
yeah. It'll be people doing cowboy shit. What do you...
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what exactly they want. Maybe there'll be a reveal of a character or something. And that'll get people talking. There's got to be something. They're not just going to show them doing shit, But yeah, until next time, if you like what you heard and you somehow went through the whole freaking almost 3 hours, God bless you. Hit subscribe on Video Games to the Max or the whole W2 Network to get everything we do. Go read some stuff on W2Net.com. Got some reviews up there, along with Mark's Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and 2. And we will see you guys next time.
Later,
everybody.